At the end of three quarters, they lead 40-27.
Okay, so LeMoyne's not going to get much help there.
No, but make sure to check out NE10 Now and all the different places for all the latest on all the games. And, of course, LeMoyneDolphins.com to keep you up to date with everything Fins. And that's going to wrap things up on the postgame show. Dolphin basketball is a presentation of LeMoyne College. Special thanks to Bob Beretta, Craig Lane, James McGlynn, Sam Furco, Skip Clark, Mary Grimes, Joanna Dabrowski, Terry Mannion, Jasmine Davis, Tracy Roman, our engineer in the Fox Sports Studios, Melanie Sands. For my broadcast partner, Don Familo.
That's me.
This is Tim McCaffrey, reminding you once again that the final score from the Henniger Athletic Center was LeMoyne 72, Franklin Pierce 44. But stay tuned. In just a couple of minutes from now, it'll be men's basketball action between the Ravens and the Dolphins. Join Chris Granozio and Don Familo for the call of that game. Until then, this is Tim McCaffrey saying stay tuned for more LeMoyne basketball after this. The Dolphins shoot for their fourth straight win against a team that has won 7 in a row. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Chris Granozio, along with my partner, Don Familo, courtside with the Dolphins, as the LeMoyne Dolphins try to knock off the Franklin Pierce Ravens here at home after losing back in November to them in New Hampshire. Well, we welcome you to the King & King Courtside Show. King & King, proud to give back to the community that has supported them since 1868, making it the oldest operating architectural firm in New York State. Well, this is a big game, Don, when you consider the pecking order in the Northeast 10 Conference. The LeMoyne Dolphins currently reside in 6th place out of the 13 teams in the NE10. They are a half a game behind Franklin Pierce, which occupies spot number 5. The top 4 are in order: Bentley, St. Anselm, Southern New Hampshire, and New Haven. And all 4 are within striking distance of LeMoyne mathematically. They could get up to that top 3, which all get byes. But right now, LeMoyne has just focused on the game at hand and keep winning game by game, and hope they can ascend that ladder as they continue with the second of 3 home games in a row, and 4 of their last 6 being here on the home floor. They certainly can make a run.
Well, that's certainly something that helps them being here at home. They've done pretty well on the road, too. They won some league road games. But LeMoyne's in a position now, because of their record, where they really need to win out to continue to have an opportunity at an at-large berth in the NCAAs. If they do, they have a pretty significant opportunity to get there. But it starts with this game. And when you have to win out, you look at every game as a playoff game.
Well, this is... But LeMoyne is in a league, the Northeast 10 Conference, of the 3 leagues in the region. It is by far the best league, and it goes the deepest with the best teams. And for the Dolphins, this would be a huge victory, because if you can get higher up in the pecking order, the best chance you have of getting an at-large bid in the NCAA tournament, as you talked about. LeMoyne would like to win the tournament and get in automatically, but barring that, the more wins you get, the better off you are. And there are plenty of teams in LeMoyne's way. The Northeast 10 Conference could get as many as 6 of the 8 teams in the field, but that's if St. Thomas Aquinas and Dominican win their respective leagues, the East Coast Conference and the Central Atlantic. And if anybody else wins those, obviously that'll take away another spot in the NE10. Right now, LeMoyne is in the top 6 in the NE10, so they would have a chance at that, but it's not a given yet, and they have to certainly win more games.
Well, they'd love to get into the top 4, which would help insulate them from upsets in the other 2 divisions. But the coaching staff has told us all year, from the head coach on down, that this team just wants to continue to play better and better as the year goes on. And they've had some stumbles along the way, but their last 3 games have shown really what they can do, especially on the offensive end, where they have struggled at times this year.
We're now joined in the McNeil and Company Coaches Corner with assistant coach Ben Morello. And coach, before we talk about LeMoyne, let's talk about the opponent today, the Franklin Pierce Ravens, a team that knocked you off in a close game up in New Hampshire back in November. And it all starts with their guard Mohamed Traore, who's pretty much the ringleader for this club, and they have a lot of other nice pieces too. Your thoughts on what you have to do to stop this team?
We got to be disciplined. This team moves. They move really well off the ball. They got some guys who can really shoot it and make really tough shots. I'd say we got to keep our cool. Those guys are going to make good shots, tough shots. Stay disciplined in what we do and continue to compete.
Well, you have been doing what you do and competing lately, winners of 3 straight games. And one of the focal points in the last 3 games has been Isaiah Salter, who's been red hot lately. Also, coming off a career high his last game, Xavier Wilson, who all of a sudden looks like the shooter that we were expecting all year long. He's now made his last 4 3-pointers after making 4 the whole season before that.
Right.
He's made 6 straight free throws. He's shot 10 of 13 from the floor last game. What's been the change in him?
I think it's just trusting what we do. X is a really good player, and he's a really good team guy. I think it just took a little bit for him to figure out what his role is with this group. And as soon as he's done that and he figured out his role, he's getting more minutes, and he's really just contributing. He's just playing like himself.
And for the rest of the team, what have you been doing right during this 3-game winning streak after a 1-6 rough spot?
Once again, just believing in what we do, sticking to what we do, no matter what's thrown at us or what the other team might come out and do. We stick to our principles, our rules, and focus on us and compete for 40 minutes.
So if you had to put a capsule on, you've mentioned do what we do a few times.
Yep.
If you could just give us a couple of bullet points, what is it that LeMoyne does?
Compete defensively for 40 minutes, finish possessions with 2 hands on the rebound, and we play for each other on the offensive end.
So fundamental basketball at its best.
That's right. That's it.
All right.
Pretty simple.
Good luck today, Coach.
All right, guys.
Thanks a lot.
That's Ben Morello in the Coaches Corner, courtesy of McNeil and Company. We are who we insure.
Well, based on what Coach Morello just said, we're going to segue to our keys to the game, brought to you by King & King Architects. Proud to give back to the community that has supported them since 1868, making it the oldest operating architectural firm in New York State. Fundamentals, it was all about fundamentals. But one thing we've both seen this season with this team, LeMoyne's not a good come-from-behind team. But when they can get a lead early, they can do a pretty good job holding teams off. I think a key to this game, and in addition to all those fundamentals, is to get a lead early instead of falling behind so they don't have to climb from behind in this game.
In their last game against the Delphi on Wednesday, LeMoyne led from pillar to post, and that was the 5th time they had done that this year. And obviously things are much better. Your percentages are much higher if you can get that early lead.
Listen, some teams are good come-from-behind teams, but that's not the way the Dolphins play because they're not always a good shooting team. So that's the key to today's game. Get a lead early and then do all those fundamental things that Ben Morello talked about. Those are the King & King keys to the game.
And we'll be back with more on the King & King Courtside Show. When we come back, we'll go through the starting lineups as the Dolphins and Ravens, former rivals in the old defunct New England Collegiate Conference, meet up again here in the NE10 on a chilly, frigid day in Syracuse. This is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network. Don, it is still so muffled in my ear. And we welcome you back to the LeMoyne Event Center in Syracuse, where the LeMoyne Dolphins take on the Franklin Pierce Ravens in the second of a three-game homestand. I'm Chris Granozio, along with my partner Don Familo, and our engineer back at the Fox Sports Radio studios is Melanie Sands, as we get set for a big basketball game, as we mentioned at the top. This is really a battle for fifth place right now in the NE10 in the standings, and it's a bunched up standings from 1 through 8, and then there's a dip going down to the 9th spot, as just behind LeMoyne is Southern Connecticut by half game in 7th place, Pace in 8th place just behind them. And then there's a drop off to teams with losing records, starting with Assumption, LeMoyne's next opponent. So again, every game is important in this conference, and LeMoyne, after struggling in January, they've really turned it around here in February. Actually, starting in late January, as they won 3 straight to get their record back over 500 at 12-11. They're 9-6 in league play, 6-3 here on their home floor after the win against Adelphi, 88-82 on Wednesday. Franklin Pierce comes in with a record of 14-7. They've won 7 straight. They are 9-5 in the conference, and they are 5-3 away from home, which is Rindge, New Hampshire. Their last game was a 73-62 win in Vermont against St. Michael's on Wednesday. And we'll go through the starting lineups and the head coaches in just a moment. First, a couple of more tidbits on LeMoyne's last game against Adelphi. It was LeMoyne's best three-point shooting game. They made the most threes, 14. They shot the highest percentage, 50%, 14 of 28. It was also the most points LeMoyne had scored in a league game in 3 years, when they scored 88, also against Adelphi. And it was their 5th wire-to-wire win of the season. LeMoyne is doing this without any player in the top 25 in the conference in scoring, and nobody in the top 25 in rebounding, as LeMoyne's leading rebounder, Isaiah Elmore, at 5 a game, has not played in the last 5 games. He has been relegated to the bench. So they are doing it by committee, although we've seen some great bust-out individual performances lately. Isaiah Salter with a career-high tying 26 at St. Rose last Saturday, and then the last game against Adelphi with Xavier Wilson's career-high 24. We'll go through the starting lineups when we get back here on the King and King Courtside Show. This is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network. Say your last name for me? Pettis. Okay, thank you. Hi, what's up? Hi, DeVorn, how are you? Great. I wanted more time. Back on the King and King Courtside Show. Here are the starting lineups for this afternoon's men's game, brought to you by Crown Plaza. For the Franklin Pierce Ravens, the head coach is David Chadbourne in his 24th year at the helm of the men's program. He was the women's coach of Franklin Pierce for a spell before that. As a men's coach, he has a record of 405 wins, 327 losses, and he has the longest active streak of winning seasons amongst all the coaches in the NE10, and that's saying something with Keith Dixon and Jay Lawson at St. A's and Bentley, respectively. 10 straight years, not counting the COVID year, with winning records. He'll send out this starting 5. We talked about Mohamed Traore, 6'2 sophomore out of Hyde Park, Mass., who leads the team in scoring at just over 13 a game. Jarnell Snow Guzman has been inserted into the starting lineup, and in the last 8 games, Franklin Pierce has won 7 of those 8. as he has jumped in and shot very well. 5'9" sophomore out of Lynn, Mass., averaging 8.5 points per game and averaging 12.9 over the last 7. Brandon Kolick, a 6'4" senior sharpshooter out of Cumberland, Rhode Island, averaging just under 12 points a game, and he leads the team with 54 three-pointers made. Sean Bresnan is the 6'5" junior power forward out of Yonkers, and he is averaging just under 12 points a game at 18 in the win against St. Mike's on Wednesday. He also leads the team at just over 6 rebounds per game. And Sean Trumper in the middle, 6'7" sophomore out of Ashford, England, averaging 9.5 points per game. For the LeMoyne Dolphins, it's Nate Champion at the helm in his 4th year. The former LeMoyne great and 1,000-point scorer, now running the program at 43-35 over his 4 years. He'll start lefty point guard Mike DePersia, 5'11" grad student out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey, averaging 6 points a game. Had a great game against Adelphi, 7.6 rebounds, 9 assists, only 1 turnover. Isaiah Salter, the 6-foot grad student out of Charlotte, averaging a team best 12.1 points per game. Also leads the team with 53 three-pointers made. Nate McClure, 6'4" grad student out of Houston, averaging 6.5 points a game. He, like Mike DePersia, last played at Division I IUPUI in Indiana. Luke Sutherland, a 6'7" junior and West Genny grad out of Syracuse, averaging 11.5 points a game at his first collegiate double-double in the win against Adelphi, 15 points and a career-best 10 rebounds. Xavier Wilson, red hot in the middle at 6'7", a senior out of Spring Valley, New York, averaging just over 9 points a game. Started the year on the bench, but as a starter, he's thrived, coming off the career-high 24-point performance against the Panthers of Adelphi, and he leads the team in block shots with 26. He is 21 of 33 from the floor, just over 65% in his last 3 games, and he's made his last 6 free throws and his last 4 three-pointers after starting the year 4 of 17 from downtown. Our officials today are Devorn Kinsey, Joey Reyes, and Brad Zepetis. The all-time season series is led by Franklin Pierce, 24-19 here on this floor, though LeMoyne has the edge, 12-7. Last meeting was in Ringe, New Hampshire on November 30th, and it was a win for Franklin Pierce, 68-63, as they scored the last 8 points of that game. It's Jarnell Snow Guzman with the basketball on the right side, driving, takes the fall-away jumper, it rims out, rebound is batted to Luke Sutherland. Dolphins have rebounded the ball better in recent games. Nate McClure passes to the corner, and Isaiah Salter. LeMoyne in the home white, trimmed in green and gold. LeMoyne across the chest. Franklin Pierce in the road black, trimmed in maroon and white. Franklin above the number, Pierce below it. Franklin Pierce in man defensively. Salter comes around the right side, behind the arc still. Shot clock down to 11. Lobs a pass over the defense to Sutherland, who puts it in with a little righty baby hook.
Perfect pass. Defense was overplaying, and he was able to get it over the top. Sutherland right under the basket and didn't try to do too much with it.
Started his career at Siena, also had a cup of coffee at Bryant, 2 Division I programs. There's a block shot by Sutherland, and then a late whistle on LeMoyne, I believe, for a foul. It might be Sutherland after the rejection might have bodied a defender.
I think he got some of his hand maybe from behind. It's hard to block a shot that way from behind without making contact, so Luke picks up his first. But one thing about Luke Sutherland, gotta like his more aggressive nature in the last couple of games. I thought he played much more physically in his last game, and LeMoyne needs that down low.
Yep, Franklin Pierce, the worst free throw shooting team in the league, but they have a good free throw shooter at the line right now, and Brandon Kolick hits the first to put the Ravens on the board. Actually, Kolick is struggling a little this year at 62%, but he makes both there to make a liar out of me. Franklin Pierce shoots it at 64% from the stripe. And we're all even at 2. LeMoyne did not trail in the last game, but there was a 2-2 tie before the Dolphins pulled away. Right side pass. Here's a three-pointer by McClure for the lead, and that's good. Nate McClure has struggled from 3 this year at about 30%. But that one was a good look from his former IUPUI teammate, Mike DePersia. The Dolphins are back up 5-2.
LeMoyne looks relaxed offensively. They're taking their time, not forcing anything.
Here's a handoff to Snow Guzman. Drives left baseline, well defended by DePersia. Now he finds Traore. Traore into the paint, slinking in, jumping a pass back out. Here's a 3 to tie, no good by Snow Guzman, the hyphenated last name. Weak side rebound to Salter. Up ahead, here's a three-pointer for Sutherland. Front rimmed it no good, tapped up by McClure, but too strong. And the rebound to Trumper.
I like the energy LeMoyne is showing on defense.
They've been a little bit strange defensively. We'll tell you about that in a moment statistically as the ball gets deflected and Franklin Pierce maintains possession. Shot clock still ticking at 16. Boy, Sutherland got a hand in the back of Kolick, but no call.
Yeah, fortunately, he didn't push.
Here's Bresnan kicking it out to the right side. A pump fake. Now a step back three by Kolek for the tie, and it's an air ball. Good defense by the Dolphins, but Trumper saves it. 1 second to shoot. They're not going to get it off in time, even though the shot went down for Kolek. Great Dolphin defense, even though Franklin Pierce, give them credit for chasing down the offensive rebounds. They're one of the better rebounding teams in the league. The Dolphins held steady. So here's DePersia behind a screen. Met on a switch by Trumper. Now going to the hole, throws a pass out to McClure. Top of the key, Salter thought about the three. Instead, he makes the extra pass. McClure for another triple. This one's long, and the rebound on the weak side to Kolek.
So just because you're not forcing the offense doesn't mean you're going to make your shot.
Trumper a three to tie is good from straight on. He's a big man who can shoot that triple. The British native ties the score at 5. Here's McClure. Jumps the pass right side to DePersia. Puts it on the floor, angles in, into the paint, kicks it back out to Wilson. Wilson spins, the little short jumper is good. Picking up right where he left off. Xavier Wilson, coming off the career-high 24-point game on Wednesday, gives LeMoyne the lead at 7-5. Working around the left side, it's Snow Guzman. Trumper ball fake on a three, same spot where he made one. Wide pass, reeled in by Traore, working on Salter. Now he bounces the pass down low. Trumper catches on the baseline, flings a one-handed pass out, a ball fake by Bresnan, then he walks in the middle of the lane. That is a travel.
It's not a travel.
Well,
they called an offensive foul instead. He charged into Mike DePersia, who I think you're right, Chris. It would have been a travel if it weren't for the foul, but DePersia fell down on the contact.
That I have for DePersia's unofficial 15th drawn charge, and he missed 3 games. 7-5 LeMoyne with possession. First turnover of the game. Sutherland's got it mid-post, top of the key for Salter. Ball fakes, but they've got him well defended as Snow Guzman closes ground on him. Now a bounce to Sutherland, right blocks, working on Trumper, looking to pump fake, puts it up and in off the glass. Luke Sutherland's second hoop, he's got 4, Dolphins up 4 as well, 9-5.
Again, a more relaxed offense. Sutherland taking his time and just going up off glass.
Big crowd here on Fin Frenzy Day. A feed to a cutting Traore. Back out. Three-pointer Kolek around the rim and out. Bresnan the rebound down low, and it's almost blocked, but goes in anyway. So a second chance opportunity for Sean Bresnan halves the deficit from 4 to 2.
Strong bodies down low, hitting the glass for Franklin Pierce.
LeMoyne's got to limit second chances for Franklin Pierce. That's one of their strengths. Here's a three by Wilson. That ends his 4-for-4 streak.
And not much rhythm on that. He just one-on-one, he decided to go up and take it. One of the few times there's been a little lack of patience offensively for LeMoyne.
Trumper backing in, kicking out top of the key. Snow Guzman dribbles in, well defended amongst the trees, throws an air ball, but it's picked up again on the offensive glass, and it's a follow-up again for Bresnan. Back-to-back putbacks for Bresnan, ties the score at 9.
Well, it was such a bad shot, went right into his hands, almost like a pass, and that close to the basket. Good moves offensively, hard to stop. DePersia
for a 3 in the lead, that's no good. And for the second straight time, LeMoyne settles for a 3, and the ball doesn't touch anybody but the man with it. Now, here's a little flip in the lane by Bresnan. 3 straight for him, and it gives Franklin Pierce its first lead of the game on a 6-0 spurt, 11-9. And again, Don, the Dolphins offense is really playing into the hands for Franklin Pierce's offense. A feed to Wilson down low, slams it amidst a couple of Ravens. Xavier Wilson's second hoop ties the game at 11.
It's a great pass to get it to him in a position where it was hard to miss a shot.
Here's Snow Guzman getting his shot rejected by one of the best shot blockers in the league, Wilson. Up ahead, Sutherland in transition. Finger roll good, and LeMoyne's back on top.
Well, Chris, what do I read? We had a Stewart slam, a defensive gem, and a fast break there, which is sponsored by CAD Dimensions. We'll go with the fast break. High-quality 3D printed parts delivered to your door or dock is just as fast as a Dolphin fast break. Visit CADDimensions.com for more.
Here's a 3 for the lead, straight on, no good by Kolek. He was feeling it at the top of the key. And LeMoyne gets the rebound. Here's McClure into the front court, back out to DePersia. DePersia, wow, he was fouled. They're going to call an offensive foul on DePersia. Maybe he hooked it, I didn't see it, but okay, so that was the call. So LeMoyne turns it over for the first time. They are number 1 in the league in turnover differential. They force the most and don't turn it over that much themselves. So we've reached a media timeout with 13:50 to play in the first half. We'll step aside. It's LeMoyne 13 and Franklin Pierce 11. This is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network.
Walking the path of integrity. Forever embracing a life in balance. Standing tall and confident. Leaders in the classroom, community, and field of play. With clear vision and a full heart. Looking to the future, devoted to the student athlete. Representing the Northeast. Diverse in composition. United by our values. Determined by nature. Uncompromised by choice. We are the NE10.
LeMoyne College basketball is brought to you in part by the Hotel Club. Whenever your travel plans require lodging in Central New York, book your stay at one of LeMoyne's preferred hotel partners, the Craftsman Inn and Suites, the Crown Plaza, Doubletree by Hilton, and Crest Hill Suites. That's what we call our hotel club. And that slam dunk by X earlier was a Stewart slam. Nice and sweet, just like the treats you'll find at Stewart Shops, founded in 1946, just like LeMoyne.
Couple of substitutions. R.J. Delahaye with the basketball now. He checked into the game. His shot is short. Rebound comes to DePersia. The ball is deflected out of bounds by Bresnan. It'll stay LeMoyne ball as they move from left to right on your screen. I'm sorry, right to left on your screen, because you're at the opposite end of where we are. Also into the game for Franklin Pierce is their top scorer off the bench, Antonio Chandler, 6'6" junior out of Piscataway, New Jersey, comes off an 8.12 rebound game. And a new player into the game for LeMoyne is Kevin Constant. He misses the shot, saves the inbounds though, or saves the ball above the end line, and LeMoyne will get a second crack at it. Also into the game for the first time, Derek Jones Jr., the transfer from Towson, out of Richmond, Virginia. And he gets it now to DePersia, who banks it up there, no good. And the rebound pulled down by Chandler, one of the best in the business.
I think he was a little intimidated by Chandler. If he just went up for a regular layup, that would have gone down.
I think you're right. LeMoyne by 2. Bresnan feeds a man down low, and it's actually off the stomach or the upper chest of Wilson, and LeMoyne gets it on the turnover. LeMoyne working around the perimeter. Derek Jones Jr. steps back for a 3. It's way off the backboard, no good. He has really struggled from the floor in the last 4 games, 4 of his last 22 now. And that's from everywhere, not just three-point range. Very talented player, still trying to feel his way as he missed the first semester. Tough jumper by Traore off the front rim, no good, rebounded by Wilson. Well, Franklin Pierce has gone cold. Now the Dolphins try to capitalize as they've scored for the last 4 to regain the lead. Salter with it. Passes left side to Wilson. Wide open 3. Off the rim long. He's missed 2 in a row now from downtown and never had a better look than that one.
Sometimes you can be too open.
Yep, top of the key. Here's a jumper off the rim. Again, second miss in a row for Delahaye, and we have a loose ball foul on LeMoyne. Oh, no, it's on Franklin Pierce. Oh, Sean Bresnan is called for it, and he's got his palm skyward and has a look of incredulity about him.
So what happened was Bresnan pushed off on Derek Jones Jr., causing Derek Jones to grab his jersey to balance himself. We all saw him grab the jersey, thought it would be on Jones, but the call goes the Dolphins' way.
And David Chaborn, the head coach, got the official Devorn Kinsey's explanation, says, okay, he was fine with it. We'll take a timeout, 11:58 to go in the first half. LeMoyne 13, Franklin Pierce 11. This is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network.
Dolphins basketball is made possible in part by Sodexo, a proud Team LeMoyne member. Sodexo provides quality of life services with the belief that quality of life helps keep people happy, healthy, and motivated throughout life. For all your on-campus catering needs, contact Sodexo.
Well, we've got a couple of substitutions, one for each team. For LeMoyne into the game for the first time, as Salter takes his first shot, no good, and nearly rebounded by Xavier. Wingfield is into the game, as we mentioned, for the first time, out of Richmond, Virginia. And for Franklin Pierce, it's Wall Maywin, a Division I transfer from Maine, who's into the game for the first time. Ball's knocked out of bounds by the Dolphins. Wingfield touched it last. 17 on the shot clock for the Ravens, and also Tyson Lee is in for Franklin Pierce, a 6'2 sophomore out of Cincinnati. Don't see too many Cincinnati or Ohio kids go to Franklin Pierce in New Hampshire.
Kolick back in the game too.
Oh, there's another block for Wilson on after a near travel.
It looked like a travel from here.
Yeah, Chandler dragged that pivot foot. He's got it now on the left side. Not a three-point shooter per se. Goes to the hole, gets blocked again by Wilson. Shot clock to 3. Maywin puts it up. It rolls off the rim, and over the back they're going to get Chandler going over Constant. Oh, no, they're going to call Constant for the foul. Wow. That is a very curious call by DeVorn Kinsey.
Kinsey says that Constant had his arm behind him, pushing him out of the way as he battled for position.
Chandler was going down his back.
Yeah, that's an odd one. Maybe
very strange.
Maybe a little bit of a makeup from the call before the whistle, but in any event, Franklin Pierce retains possession.
Snow Guzman in for Delahaye, who was in for a short period. Oh, near travel there as well. Now left side, here's a three-pointer by Lee. It's way off the mark, an air ball, and picked out of the air by Wingfield. Wingfield, top of the key. The score's been 13-11 for an eternity. Wingfield driving, stops, kicks it back out to Jones. Jones dribbles between the legs. Now backing in, goes to the hole, and it was a goaltended basket. I said it was going to go in, and then all of a sudden it trickled off, and it was a finger that knocked it free. So the Dolphins scores their 6th straight basket, and Jones has the first bench points of the game for either side. It's 15-11 LeMoyne.
Was that Chandler? I don't know who it was, but whoever was way up over the top, hand over the rim, an obvious goaltending call.
A jump down low to Lee, and his shot is deflected, maybe a pass deflected by Wilson. Now the ball's loose and stolen again up court by Chandler. Sloppiness on both sides. Now on the right side, a pass down low, and Chandler misses a shot. There was contact underneath on the rebound, but Constant comes away with it. Up ahead to Wilson. Wilson slows it down. Now goes by his man, feeds a wide open Constant, who flips it over the cup and in.
Good offensive help. Go to the basket, and good things can happen.
Constant tied his season high with 15 points last game against the Delphi on Wednesday. Gets his first bucket today. And LeMoyne's up 17-11, having scored 8 straight. Now it's Maywin going in, and his finger roll is no good, but he got fouled on the way up, and will go to the line. Nice take on the aggressive variety by Wall Maywin, who is from Auburn, Maine. Doesn't score a lot, just over 2 points per game, doesn't play a lot of minutes, but a very athletic player. And David Chambord knows how to recruit. He brings in guys that fit his system beautifully and guys that might be overlooked by other teams. Maywin is not a good foul shooter, 40%. First one is up, and of course, good.
Of course, in this place, Xavier Wilson, by the way, picked up that foul, his first. He's done a nice job helping out as the second defender down low as these guards are driving past the LeMoyne defenders who are putting on heavy ball pressure. He's there to pick up the slack down low.
Wilson has been great all year, really, at not picking up a lot of fouls despite playing a high foul-prone position. Second shot for Maywin is up and perfect. You'd never know he was at 40%. So that ends the 8-0 LeMoyne spurt. It's now a 4-point lead for the Dolphins, 17-13. Just past the midway mark in the first half. Chris Granozio, Don Familo, Melanie Sands, our engineer, back at the Fox Sports Radio studios. Here's a jumper off the pull-up by Jones that's good. Derek Jones Jr., after missing his first basket today, has poured in a couple in a row. And a shot that is left short. Maywin, the putback is good.
Just too athletic down there. Luke Sutherland, by the way, in the game right now for Xavier Wilson. So now he has the unenviable task of guarding those guys down low.
19-15 LeMoyne. Fake of a three by Luke Sutherland. Now it's DePersia. Up top, Wingfield driving, pivoting, fall-away jumper off to the right, no good. And Maywin high for the rebound. Boy, he's putting in some very good minutes off the bench.
And other than Kevin Constant, no one there for an offensive board, so LeMoyne, no bodies down low.
Here's Kolek whipping a pass to the left side on the, and there's a rebound by Jones on the missed shot. Up ahead, Sutherland. Sutherland sidesteps his man, and the finger roll layup is good. Luke Sutherland with 8 to lead all scorers. The Dolphins are up by 6, 21-15. Snow Guzman finds a cutting Bresnan, and he's undercut and fouled. Boy, DeVorn Kinsey is calling a lot of curious calls on LeMoyne.
That's a good call because there was a bump there by Derek Jones Jr., but it's like Kinsey waited to see if the ball was going in the basket before he called the foul.
Right, it's not that the call was bad, it's just that
it was late.
Sometimes it's late, sometimes it's whatever.
I mean, sometimes you wonder, like, if the ball was going to go in the basket, if he wouldn't have called the foul, but because it didn't, he didn't want to reward the defender.
Bresnan makes the first free throw. Frank LaPierce, the worst foul shooting team in the league, is 5 of 5. And the last game, Adelphi was 16 of 17 from the line against LeMoyne. Up until that game, LeMoyne's opponents were shooting a paltry 64% from the line all year. That one pops out, rebounded by Sutherland. Bresnan's got 7 to lead the Ravens, and it's a 5-point lead for the home team, the green and gold of LeMoyne. Left side to Sutherland, mid-post, turns to face the basket, jumper is up, short, the rebound, put back by Jones, who got high in the air for it.
Yeah, and he got undercut too. They could have called a foul on Bresnan. That was a dangerous play.
6 points for Jones.
He's grimacing on the other end of the court.
Best hops in the league.
I think he got hit in a place we won't mention.
Yes, but he's staying on the court. Ball fake by Mywin. He got his jersey tugged. Here's a three-pointer, no good by Bresnan, or actually by Snow Guzman, but the ball is rescued by Mywin. Three-pointer up and good on the right side by Kolek. So that is the third time in this first half that Frank LaPierce has scored on a second chance.
In Mywin, you can't take him off the court right now. He's so active under the basket.
And LeMoyne doesn't have really anybody that can match up with him. Trumper back on the floor as well for Frank LaPierce. Sutherland up top to DePersia. LeMoyne by 4. DePersia drives, and he got stripped. Ball loose on the floor and goes out of bounds off of Frank LaPierce. And we have a media timeout with 7:30 to play in the first half. It's LeMoyne 23, Frank LaPierce 19, and this is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network. All right, you got to swap. Are you going to? Okay. Okay. In the future, if you play the wrong spot, let it play out. We'll swap them, okay? Because I don't want to sound like we make a mistake. Thank you. All right. I know.
We want to thank the good folks at DT Broadcast Media for being a Team LeMoyne member. Catch Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora live from 9 to 11 a.m. every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Facebook, and MixLR. Just type in /Wake Up Call DT on each site to listen, and don't forget to tune in on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. for Dolphin Time, an exclusive dive into LeMoyne athletics. WakeUpCallDT.com, where sports meets life.
Well, Nate Champion has gone deeper into his bench. Jerry Washington, the backup point guard, is into the game. He's out of Chicago, a 5'11 grad student, transferred from Ferris State. And let's see. There's
a substitution.
Okay, they can't make a substitution for Traore, I guess?
Yeah, because time didn't come off the clock. It's one of those rules. But he'll be able to come in at the next whistle.
LeMoyne puts it in play on the baseline with 14 seconds to shoot. And the inbounds is caught by Wilson.
I wouldn't want to take Mywin off the floor anyway. He's doing so many good things.
Right, but he doesn't play this many minutes. 6 seconds to shoot. Washington jumps a pass. Here's a straight-on jumper by Wilson that's good. Xavier Wilson with 6 points. And the Dolphins back up by 6 as well. 7:11 to play with left in the first half. Trumper on the right wing. Now a pass to the right side. Kolek for 3. Good look and another make. That's his second triple. He's got 8 to lead Franklin Pierce and tie Luke Sutherland for game high, and LeMoyne's lead is down to 3, 25-22. They've led by as many as 7 and trailed by 2 on one occasion. Two very evenly matched teams, and an illegal screen called on LeMoyne.
Xavier Wilson, that's his second.
Yeah, he might have to sit for a while here. He does not usually get into foul trouble.
Well, it wouldn't be bad to take him off the floor now that Mowen went to the bench, and that's what's going to happen as Derek Jones Jr. comes in.
Back in, and LeMoyne will go a little smaller, but not any less athletic for sure.
By the way, the three-pointer by Jerry Washington was way off, so he gets the benefit of not having a missed shot.
Was that a three-pointer by Washington?
But
Trumper
obviously it doesn't count.
Backing in, kick out to Traore, well defended by DePersia, and has to hand off. Now gets the return pass from Trumper, and he scores.
Oh.
Traore's first basket of the game, and now it's a 1-point LeMoyne lead at 25-24.
Fancy move down there.
Here's a feed to Washington. Kick out right side. Jones for 3. Bullseye! Derek Jones Jr., who came back into the game due to the foul trouble for Wilson's now the game high scorer with 9. He's made 4 straight shots.
And a great job of Jerry Washington giving up the tough shot to give it to the guy in the corner who was wide open.
And now there's a push off on Franklin Pierce.
Yeah, and I don't think it was as bad as
Not
it looked,
nearly.
but it looked bad. That'll be on Traore, his first.
Well, that's because there was so much space created for Traore because of what minimal contact there was. So Salter's in for DePersia for the Dolphins, who lead by 4. And Franklin Pierce is calling a timeout with a 5:52 on the clock. And fans coming up on the Mannion Capani halftime show will recap the first 20 minutes of action, scrutinize the stats, and update you on the women's team. There's good news to report there. As we will also have a special interview. It's all coming up during the halftime show, brought to you by Mannion Capani.
This is a CAD Dimensions timeout, fans, and when time is run out and you need 3D printed parts in a hurry, count on CAD Dimensions to deliver high-quality, high-accuracy parts and prototypes. Trust them to meet the most exacting engineering standards. Visit CADimensions.com to learn more. CAD Dimensions, your partner in design solutions.
LeMoyne will next be in action on Tuesday, a doubleheader against the Assumption Greyhounds. The big game is the women's game, because that'll be a battle for first place, as the LeMoyne women's team, which has now won 7 in a row, the longest winning streak in the Mary Grimes era, will take on the team that's a half game ahead of them, who beat them in Worcester earlier this season. So Assumption and LeMoyne for the women's game at 5:30, 7:30 or thereabouts. The men will tip off, and we'll be on the air for all of it pregame for the King and King Courtside show at 5:15. But we want to encourage you to come back out, as there's a really nice crowd here at LeMoyne. Want to see more of that on Tuesday for 2 big games. Washington on the left side, low dribble, now into the paint, falling backwards. The shot is up, front rimmed it, no good, and the rebound pulled down by Bresnan. No one touched the ball on that possession except for Washington.
Yep, and Washington can make that shot. He practices it, but not enough energy on that to get it over the front rim.
A pass out to Trumper, who puts it on the floor. Now over to the left corner, Traore. Now angles in, lays it up and in off glass. What a nice move by Mohamed Traore. Just a sophomore. He's got 4 points, and LeMoyne's lead is cut in half to 2.
They also had a big size advantage with Trumper down low. He could have passed it off, but actually had an easier look himself.
Salter, top of the key, lost the ball for a moment. Now a 3 by Sutherland. It's good! Luke Sutherland's first triple. He's the first player in double figures with 11, and LeMoyne's up 5. 4:46 to play in the half. When LeMoyne leads at the half this year, they're 10-1. When they trail, they're 1-9. So that's been the barometer. Ball is almost deflected. Now Trumper's got it. Turns to face the basket. Puts it on the floor. Gets by Sutherland. Ball deflected into the corner. Jumper is no good by, who was it? It was Bresnan. And LeMoyne gets the rebound.
Chris, when you get a chance, don't the Dolphins have 2 wins now down at the half?
No, 1.
They were.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It's 2-9, not 1-9. They won at St. Rose down 2. You're absolutely right. Thanks for the correction. Right side, three-pointer, Kolek. In and out this time. The rebound on the floor to Washington. Foul line extended. Up ahead, Derek Jones Jr. He's got the hot hand also. Down low, running bank shot, no good, but he got pushed in the act. Got undercut, they say, by Snow Guzman.
He also hooked his defender, but I think they didn't see that.
Could have gone either way.
Yeah.
So Snow Guzman gets called for it. The 4th team foul on the Ravens. And it'll be free throws for Derek Jones Jr.
I saw what David Chadbourne saw. I saw as he came around the defender, he used his arm to hook him. So I guess fortunate for LeMoyne that they called the other foul first.
First free throw is no good for Jones, a 71% foul shooter. This is LeMoyne's first trip to the line all game. And Frank LaPierce has made a living there as they are 5 of 6.
Bresnan goes back to the bench.
Jones, one more foul shot coming. It is up and it is good. So he's got 10 points. Second man in double figures behind his teammate Luke Sutherland with 11. Dolphin lead should be 6. They put this point on the wrong side of the scoreboard here. Maywin's got it back on the floor. Right side, Kolek, another look at 3. This one's good. He's had 3 threes here in the first half. He's got 11 to tie for game high. And it's now 31-20, or 32-29, LeMoyne, I believe. They're still working on the scoreboard. Should be 32-29. They'll fix it. DePersia hands off to Jones. Well defended. Now DePersia puts it on the floor. Up top. Salter fakes the 3. He's been well defended. Into the paint. Hands off. Jones, another 3 in the corner. In and out. Just missed it after making his last 4 shots, including a triple from that same spot.
It's a lot of time on the floor for Jones.
Jones made 1 free throw to make it 32. Here's a fake of a 3 by Kolek. Has the hot hand. He misses that one long, but the rebound comes to Snow Guzman. Out to Traore. 3 for the tie is short. Rebound again by Maywin, and he's fouled.
Maywin has been incredible in this game.
I should
Chris.
say Maywin. It's
Maywin. You're right,
Maywin.
Maywin.
Yep, and apologies for that, but the Dolphins are really not doing the job on the defensive glass. They're giving Frank LaPierce a lot of second and third chances.
It's Maywin who's doing all the work down there. He's so athletic, and he keeps attacking the glass. He's just hard to stop.
Chandler in for Trumper, and Maywin will go back to the line where he's 2 of 2 today. And
I think we have a media
timeout with 2:54 to play. We'll take it as well. This is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network.
Let's hear some more from the great Baldwinsville Pet Band.
Yeah, 10-1, 2-9 on the half-times. And we're 0-1 when tied at the half. Stack.
2 is a word that the world uses to box us in. Too demanding. Too ambitious. Too different. We're too idealistic. Too unrealistic. Too much. But if we're too much, it's because we live in a world with not enough. Not enough compassion. Not enough action. Not enough solutions. So are we too much? Or are we just getting started? LeMoyne College, where greatness meets goodness.
At the LeMoyne Way. Posted each Sunday evening, each week's entry features an inspirational quotation and explanation aiming to enlighten, encourage, and inspire all who read it. Be sure to follow the Sunday Playbook on Twitter at the LeMoyne Way.
Maywin will go back to the line where he's 2 out of 2.
Boy, the way he's playing today, Chris, I know you say he hasn't played much this year. He deserves more minutes.
93 minutes on the season coming in, and Frank LaPierce had played 21 games coming into today, so not a lot of minutes, probably an average of 5 or so a game. Well, he's certainly earning more time on the court today with his amazing play. Started his collegiate career at the University of Maine, where David Chadbourne is from. In fact, earlier this year, as Maywin hits the first, earlier this year, David Chadbourne and Frank LaPierce had a game at Caldwell, and Caldwell's head coach for the first time in his first year is Dean Johnson, who's also from Maine. So we believe that's the first time in regional history that 2 Maine-born head coaches had squared off in a game. Maywin makes both. He's got 6, and Frank LaPierce is within 1.
I wouldn't take him off the floor right now.
No, you can't. 2:48 to go, first half. Washington bounces to Sutherland. Hands off Salter, top of the key. Hasn't had a good look yet.
Great Pierce defense on the perimeter.
Yeah, Sutherland is asking for the ball. Washington now with it. Shot clock to single digits. Washington step back jumper, good. He had a big game of 8 points off the bench against the Delphi, including a couple of threes. And he can give you some offense off the bench. 34-31 LeMoyne by 3. Constant back on the floor for the Dolphins. A New England native himself out of Lawrence, Mass. Here's Snow Guzman, last name hyphenated. Working behind a screen by Chandler. Now a jumper from 3. It's off the rim. Bit of a force there with his feet not set. And the rebound pulled down by Kevin Constant.
But he had a screen in front of him, and he wanted to take advantage of it.
Oh, boy. Loose ball, and Constant fell on it for LeMoyne. David Chaborn is screaming for his team to get on the loose balls. They could have had a steal there. Wingfield moving around to the left side. Here's a 3 by Salter. It's good. His second attempt, but his first clean look. And the transfer out of AIC to Delphi, who leads LeMoyne with now 54 three-pointers, puts the Dolphin lead back in doubles it up to 6, is what I'm trying to say. 37-31. Here's Kolek, who's got the hot hand for Franklin Pierce, takes the foul line jumper, extended, no good. Rebound on the floor to Salter. LeMoyne does not have the numbers, so Salter wisely brings it back out. But now takes a 3 from straight on. Good! Back-to-back threes from Salter. That one from NBA range. And LeMoyne is now extended to its largest lead of the game, 9. 1:10 to go in the half. Ending the first half on a flourish. Snow Guzman with a hesitation dribble, lobs it up off glass and good. Beautiful move by Charnel Snow Guzman, who's really been scoring a lot lately. His first basket today, and we have a ball knocked out of bounds. And
we have a player knocked out of bounds,
yes.
Chris, as Maywin knocked Xavier Wingfield out of bounds going for the steal.
Boy, Maywin looks so good. You can see he's going to be the next star for Franklin Pierce. If I would say in the future, he might catch on the rest of this season. If you start playing like this, your coach is going to notice. Salter, well defended, as has been the case most of this half. Drives baseline, throws a bounce pass into the corner. Washington took the extra step. Good defense by the Ravens, forcing the turnover. And with 45.3 to go, Franklin Pierce can go for 2 for 1 here, should it so desire, but we haven't seen many teams do that anymore.
No, game's close enough. You just want to take the first good look you have, and if you get a 2 for 1, it's great. If not, you just want to make sure you score on this possession.
Snow Guzman bottled up on the baseline, throws a pass right down to Maywin on a beautiful flip, and Maywin, who's having the game of his life, a career-high 8 points, and the Dolphin lead is cut to 5. 40-35, they can play for the last shot of the half, in which they are guaranteed to have the lead.
LeMoyne can also use a timeout here if they want. They use it or lose it timeout.
Let's see. Washington just dribbling near half court, playing keep away from Mohamed Traore. Pass left side and Salter. Angle shot, tough one. Front rim, no good. Tapped up right to Constant, whose second attempt falls through as time expires. If you don't succeed, pursue. Try again. Constant's putback gives LeMoyne a 7-point lead heading to the locker room.
That's a big basket for the Dolphins after giving up that easy look to Maywin down low.
Well, they get one of their few second chance points in the first half. It might be their first second chance basket. And we've reached halftime with the score LeMoyne 42 and Franklin Pierce 35. Back with second half action. Actually, back with the Mannion Capani halftime show when we come back.
Eventually we'll have second half action.
Yes, as the Dolphins lead by 7. This is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network. Hi, Liz. We got Liz. Let's get this out of the way when we come back, and then I'll start the halftime. for Liz, right? It's your third year? Fourth. Okay. Right, there was the COVID year. I forget, yeah.
Don't miss a single minute of basketball action this winter. Any 10 Now takes you courtside for every basket, rebound, and assist across the conference, including exclusive coach and player interviews. Each home game is broadcast live in high definition, and we also have the audio call from every road game on the schedule. All games free of charge and available at LeMoyneDolphins.com.
And we welcome you to the Mannion Capati halftime show, where the Dolphins lead the Franklin Pierce Ravens 42-35 at the half, trying to snap Franklin Pierce's 7-game winning streak. LeMoyne trying to extend its streak to 4. We're now happy to be joined on the halftime show once again by Liz Bevel, the women's lacrosse coach at LeMoyne College. We spoke with you earlier this year. Not much has happened probably, except that you're gearing up for the season. But you, again, for those who don't know, you have you're a local play. You're from Jamesville, right?
Yes.
Did you go to JD?
I did.
Okay, so then you've taken a circuitous route. I think you were an assistant coach at Cortland State.
Yep.
You went out west to Colorado.
I did.
And then you've been
A little bit of Colgate.
Colgate. You were the interim head coach.
I was.
And now you've led LeMoyne to some very, very great seasons so far, including a shortened COVID season.
Right.
So, first of all, what's it like to be back home after going around Central New York and out west?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like being like home. So I had the experience. I was actually at Muhlenberg College right after. So I had another year in a different
That's Ohio,
state.
right?
Pennsylvania. Yep, Allentown, Pennsylvania. So was away for that year, but always knew I wanted to kind of get back home. I'm a big family person. My grandparents are still in the area. My parents are still in the area. So it's really nice to have their support, to have some friends and some teammates that are still in the Syracuse area. So, but there's nothing like Central New York lacrosse. I think that's the biggest thing. And when I went out west, it was definitely different. The IQ, the level of play is just totally different when you go past the East Coast. So kind of knew I really wanted to get back to Central New York and was fortunate enough to land at LeMoyne.
But we have seen the sport of lacrosse continue to increase in popularity, both on the men's and women's side. And schools in the Midwest, like Indy, have become really, really good. Does that affect you at all in the way that you recruit, or do you still look more locally?
Yeah, I mean, we're very fortunate. We say it all the time. We recruit in our backyard. We do have a player. We have a freshman, Izzy DeFato, is from Florida. And then we have a goalie from Maryland. So we are definitely recruiting a little bit in some different areas now, just because the talent is everywhere. So, but in terms of, are we going to stop recruiting local? No, never.
Yeah.
The lacrosse is always going to be big around here, and we have to take advantage of that. So we welcome the challenge. We are going to Pennsylvania. We're going to Mercyhurst. We're going to travel through Pittsburgh to then play Westchester, make a few stops along the way, practice at University of Pittsburgh. So just some different places. So that type of thing we just are trying to embrace and kind of give our girls that experience of, especially the ones that are local and haven't left, get them somewhere else for a little bit, see something different.
And when they're out there, make sure you treat them and yourself to Primanti Brothers sandwiches.
Okay.
They're the best sandwiches you'll ever have in your life.
Okay.
With French fries and coleslaw inside it's unreal.
All right.
And if it's not in the budget, Chris will talk to Bob about it and make it happen.
We'll
Don't you worry.
All right.
No,
you know what? We can
shameless
make a little
plug.
coach's trip if we need to.
Yes. Shameless plug for Primanti Brothers, my favorite sandwich shop outside of the Brooklyn Pickle, of course.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this coming season.
Sure.
It's right around the corner. What are you expecting from your team? And tell us a little bit about how last season finished up.
Yeah, so going back to last season, we were off to a great start. We did have 3 pretty significant career-ending injuries. Some key players, All-American attacker Aaron McMullen went down mid-season, which was a big loss. But we ended up doing really well. We made it to the NE10 championship game. We had an overtime win in the semifinal, had an overtime loss in the final, and then played in NCAA's first round of NCAA's. So that is our goal every year, to go back to NE10 championships, NCAA championships. we're really excited this year. I think we brought in a big group of freshmen that are going to make a big impact right away. And we start this weekend. We go and scrimmage Cornell. So, as far as what we're going to look like, I haven't quite figured it out yet. This weekend will be a great test for that. But we return some significant players, Paige Crandall and Cage, Adriana in the midfield. So I think that is going to bring a lot of value. And then we're just trying to get, again, our freshmen, our younger players to kind of play at a high level and keep up the success that we did have last year.
So you played at Cortland?
I did.
And at what point during your playing career did you start thinking that maybe coaching might be something you'd want to do?
Oh, I knew when I was like 18 years old. So I went to Cortland for physical education, knew I wanted to get into coaching, thought it might be more at the high school level, but wanted something to kind of rely on in case coaching didn't work out, if I wasn't any good at it. So went for the phys ed degree. When I did my student teaching, I think that's really when I, said, hey, this is fun, but this isn't really what I'm passionate about. I'd love, obviously at the collegiate level, you teach a lot. It's just a whole different experience, and I really enjoyed my experience as a student athlete, and I want to provide that same thing for young females all over.
Great avocation.
Yeah.
Question for you, my last question, that is, your stint as the interim head coach at Colgate, how did that prepare you for the job at LeMoyne?
Oh, yeah. I think as a head coach, you just get everything, whether it's budgeting, it's scholarships, it's conversations, hard conversations with kids during the year. There's just a little bit of everything that I got that I hadn't maybe had as an assistant. I remember saying to myself when I became the interim, I'm not a coffee drinker, and I was like, I get it. I get why people drink coffee. My hours increased. I was putting in more time because you just felt this bigger responsibility that as an assistant you don't feel, and that's what the job is. But again, I had a great learning experience there. We made some good runs when I was at Colgate as well, but definitely just prepares you for everything.
Well, I have to say, and no knock on Kathy Taylor, she did a great job here as well,
Yeah.
but when Kathy went to Colgate,
Right.
so happy that we were able to get you here.
Oh,
That was
thank you.
fantastic.
That's a nice trade.
Yeah.
We'll take a time out here. Liz Bevel, thank you so much for joining us once again on the halftime show.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more on the Mannion Kapati halftime show. We'll talk about the women's basketball team and their success today. We'll also talk about the halftime adjustment. As LeMoyne leads by 7 at the break, this is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network. Thanks. Great job again. You're a really good interview. Yeah.
I got to do it in college a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
We had Portland had a big sports broadcast, and I had a couple
Sports
friends,
management
and
program, yeah.
It was fun. It was fun. So I did some broadcasting for games, like the color
Oh.
for the high school championships in May.
Oh, great.
I'm like, sign me up every year. I'll do that every
Because you
year.
don't show any kind of hesitation or nervousness on the air.
That's what Liz said. Like, I didn't take public speaking. They made you talk so much in front of other. That's what I'm trying to. I'm like, all right, read this for me. Stand up in front of everybody. So it's good.
Well, thanks.
You guys,
Thanks so much.
got it.
Always.
Heart of rock and roll.
10 seconds left. 10 seconds. Get up the last shot. Last shot. Oh, all right. Let's give the boys basketball team from Holy Cross Catholic School a big round of applause. We want to thank Holy Cross for being here with us today.
You got one more. It's the 2-minute one.
Okay.
I'm going to give you this.
Fans, we'd also like to thank
Chris Bernozio, Don Familo, Melanie Sands, our engineer back at the Fox Sports Radio studios as the Dolphins lead the Franklin Pierce Ravens 42-35. Earlier today, the LeMoyne women's team was successful in its 7th straight win, knocking off the Franklin Pierce Ravens 72-44 to improve to 17-5 overall. 12-4 in league play. Kaya Good was the star of the show as she had career highs in just about every category, where she had steals, assists, points, and terrific job. Sierra Lennon with 4 3-pointers, and the Dolphins continue to roll, and they'll next be in action along with the men. Again, against Assumption as the 3-game homestand wraps up Tuesday night. We encourage you to come out here to the LeMoyne Event Center, and if you can't, by all means, tune us in at 5:15 for the King and King courtside show, 5:30 for the women's tip, men to follow at around 7:30. And Don, just before you do your read, I'm just going to quickly go through the stats here. LeMoyne has outshot Franklin Pierce 51% to 32%, which is a flip of what usually LeMoyne gives up 45% shooting, and they're last in the league in field goal percentage defense. But LeMoyne is shooting way above its norm of 43%, and so that's a flip. But LeMoyne's being out-rebounded on the second chance, in 11-5 on the offensive glass, leading to an 11-4 second chance point advantage for Franklin Pierce. And also for Franklin Pierce, they are, let's see, now they've taken 2 more shots than LeMoyne. That's a rarity for the Dolphins.
Well, and one of the reasons for that is what you mentioned, offensive rebounding. That's what really sticks out. LeMoyne's done a lot of things good in the game. They did lose a little patience offensively, but kind of brought that back. They should make a little adjustment there and go back to what they were doing that was working early, stay patient, but more importantly, they've got to hit the defensive glass. That's our halftime adjustment, sponsored by McNeil & Company, the leader in specialized insurance for over 30 years. We are who we insure.
Well, the leading scorers for LeMoyne individually, it's Luke Sutherland with 11 points, Derek Jones Jr. with 10 off the bench. After that, 6 points apiece for Xavier Wilson and Isaiah Salter. Salter with 4 assists and no turnovers as he was blanketed through much of the first 20 minutes. Kevin Constant has 4 points off the bench, including the putback right before the halftime buzzer. Dave McClure, a 3-pointer, and Jeremiah Washington, a 2-point basket. For Franklin Pierce, Brandon Kolick leads the way with 11 points. 8 off the bench for Wall Maywin, who's having a career day. Also 7 for Sean Bresnan. Mohamed Traore has 4 points. Sean Trumper, a 3-pointer, and Jarnell Snow Guzman has 2 points. We'll take a timeout as we wrap up the halftime show, brought to you by Mannion Capani. Need long-term care, Medicaid, trust, or estate planning assistance? Contact the experts at 315-478-3500. Mannion Capani, protecting the family fortune. This is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network. I'm off here by somebody.
LeMoyne ball to start the second half.
And we're underway in the second half with the Dolphins moving from right to left, actually left to right on your screen. In the home white, trimmed in green and gold, and the Franklin Pierce Ravens in the home black, trimmed in maroon and white. Franklin Pierce and man defensively. Both teams have played exclusive man here in the first half. Behind a screen, it's Isaiah Salter. Puts it on the floor. Foul line extended jumper. Good. Actually, not extended, just foul line jumper. Salter now has 8, and the Dolphins have expanded to their largest lead, matching it earlier in the first half. Right now it's 44-35. Franklin Pierce has been the hottest team in the league. They've won 7 in a row coming in. Dolphins hoping that they can end that run. Pass into the corner. Jarnell Snow Guzman. Wide open Trumper. Great ball movement, and Trumper knocks down his second triple. A Trumper tray makes it a 6-point LeMoyne lead.
And you kind of got to pick your poison as the ball goes inside. LeMoyne trying to defend down low.
DePersia, a step back jumper over Traore is good for his first bucket. Dolphins continue to shoot very well, over 50%. Their shooting numbers have gone up during this 3-game win streak and the first half of this game. Trumper, top of the key, holds with 2 hands, left side to Traore. Drives toward the basket, jumps a pass to no one. If Sutherland were looking, he might have had a steal. Now on the right side, it's Bresnan into the paint, throws one up off the rim, though good. McClure, who defended well, got the rebound. Now it's DePersia behind a screen. Well, it was a screen until Wilson went down low, and he's got a big matchup advantage against the smaller man. Double team comes, so they pass out of it. Sutherland a 3 in the corner over Trumper. That's short, well defended, but Sutherland gets his rebound and throws a short-handed floater up, no good.
It's like when Sutherland does miss, he's usually short for some reason.
Yeah, don't know why, but that has been the case this year. He's still the game's high scorer with 11. Trumper ball fake on a 3, angle dribble, back out top of the key to Bresnan. Bresnan drives inside and throws one up off glass and good around Sutherland. So Bresnan's had a very nice game for Franco Pierce. He's got 9 and the lead is 6 for the Dolphins.
Sutherland just sliding backwards there, not in good position to defend.
Salter calling out a play. Now a step back 3 is short. Rebound, Wilson had it. He gets tangled up, no call. Goes up strong and gets fouled on his dunk attempt. Good offensive rebounding for Wilson, who'll have a chance at the line. Let's see who it's on. It's on Bresnan. He's got 2 personals.
No one in the game with more than 2. DePersia and Xavier Wilson for LeMoyne, and now Bresnan for Franklin Pierce.
So Wilson goes to the line where he is shooting 56% from the stripe, but he's made his last 6 going back 2 games. It's his first trip to the line today. LeMoyne's not gotten to the line much. 1 of 2. Those were from DePersia. And Xavier Wilson looks good on his first. Career-high 24-point performance in the last game against Adelphi for the Central Connecticut transfer. One more shot coming. It is up and it is good. So 8 points for Wilson. LeMoyne with a balanced scoring effort today. Leading by 8, 48-40. Plenty of time left, though, against, again, the hottest team in the league. On the right side, Kolek with a couple of shoulder fakes. Then he finds himself open, shoots over Sutherland and scores. Brandon Kolek now has 13, leads all scorers with that one. And that's his first 2-point basket of the game. DePersia gives up the dribble, finds McClure. Now a skip pass into the corner and Sutherland. Sutherland dribbles inside, flips it over his head. They're going to call a blocking foul.
There was contact
There was contact there, but Sutherland was also out of control.
I think he tried, I don't know if he was trying to shoot it or if he was just trying to get it to Xavier Wilson down low, but it is a second foul on Snow Guzman.
We do hear David Chabor, the head coach for Franklin Pierce, one of our favorites, by the way, such a nice guy. He is talking with DeVorn Kinsey, the official, and pleading his case, and I think he's got a good one. First free throw is good for Luke Sutherland, his first trip to the line. He's an 82% foul shooter. One more shot coming for the local product out of West Genesee High School. Second shot is up and good. No good, rather. Rebounded by Trumper. By the way, speaking of local high schools, the Baldwinsville Band has been tremendous today for this doubleheader. Part of the Finns Frenzy. LeMoyne by 7, top of the key. Kolek has it. He's from a really good basketball family. More on that later as Traore misses the shot, but the rebound gets back tapped. Here's Snow Guzman with a turnaround. It's short and into the hands of DePersia, who spins away from Snow Guzman, leading a fast break the other way. And an extra pass into the corner. Salter fakes his man out of his shoes and hits the 3. Isaiah Salter with his 3rd triple. He's got 11, 3rd Dolphin in doubles, and the Dolphins have a double-figure lead for the first time.
Bresnan that time was the man he faked out. Bresnan, good defense on the first, forcing him to make that move, but best outside shooter for the Dolphins found the opening.
Here's Kolick moving to his side. Foul line now shoots over Sutherland off the back rim. A rebound controlled by LeMoyne. DePersia kept it for Wilson.
Yeah.
LeMoyne's got numbers here, but Salter hesitates, and now teams at even strength, to use a hockey term. Into the lane, a dump off for Sutherland. He scores on the feed by Salter, who lets out a war cry, and David Chambord calls timeout. LeMoyne has its largest lead of the game, 54-42. This is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network. Hearing two things at once. Okay. I just trying to figure out what's going on.
I got to get off of Windows 7. Located just off campus at Carrier Circle, Crest Hill Suites is the preferred hotel partner of LeMoyne Athletics, and they're just a short distance away from LeMoyne and all sorts of other local attractions. Crest Hill Suites provides free wireless internet service, a fitness center, and a complimentary buffet breakfast. Whether you're in town for a night, a week, or more, treat yourself to a memorable stay at Crest Hill Suites in East Syracuse. Well, they'll make you feel like home.
One substitution for LeMoyne. Derek Jones Jr., who had 10 points in the first half, is back into the game. And for Franklin Pierce, same starting. Actually, Antonio Chandler is back into the game. And he's trying to post out. Now he's out in the wing as Traore works on DePersia. Leans in, layup. It winds up being a layup for him. He's so good off that back foot. Traore with 6, and that ends the Dolphin run. It's a 10-point LeMoyne lead, 54-44.
And it's hard for Xavier.
Here's an alley-oop to Jones, who gets fouled above the rim, and will go to the line for 2.
That'll be Bresnan with the foul, his third.
See that play developing, and Franklin Pierce tried to deny, but well, actually they did deny it, but they picked up the foul. And now we have a media timeout.
Yep, and we also have Maywin coming back in the game. He's the guy that's got to be in there to defend Derek Jones Jr. Wall Maywin, a very hard name to say. We'll check in when we get back from this timeout. 54-44, LeMoyne by 10. This is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network. They are playing very physical, and they're getting away with stuff.
I can't hear. Yes, they are. Yes.
But that's a dangerous play. You have to call that.
Yeah, of course.
Derek Jones has made 4 of his last 5.
What? Yes. Yep. For over 30 years, members of the Dolphin Athletic Association have supported LeMoyne student athletes and their achievements both on and off the court. Learn more about how you can support the Dolphins by logging on to LeMoyneDolphins.com today. Derek Jones Jr. will go to the line, and no other Dolphins are going into the blocks, interestingly. So he's going to take 2 shots here after being fouled on the alley-oop attempt. He was 1 of 2 at the line in the first half. First shot is good. Derek Jones Jr. with 11. One more would tie his career high, which he set a couple of games ago.
Let's look and see if LeMoyne puts some pressure on after this free throw, if it's made, Chris.
Let's see. It is made. That is a tie of a career high, which Jones also had against Pace
And there's
on
no
the road
pressure.
last week.
They just fall back.
13 for Jones, one shy of Luke Sutherland for a game high. Also 13 points for Brandon Kolick. Here's Traore snaking inside, pivoting backwards out to Snow Guzman. Snow Guzman falls down, the ball off of Mike DePersia, and he's going to try to sell to the official.
I don't know
Joey
what he was
Reyes.
thinking.
He was trying to say it was off of Michael Pierce, but no, they're not buying that.
Yeah, it was off his knee, and I don't think it touched a Pierce player after it bounced off his knee.
But 9 seconds for the Ravens to shoot here, and we have a substitution. Checking in will be R.J. Delahaye for Snow Guzman.
And Chris, I don't know how DePersia did it, because he was guarding Traore on one end of the court, and all of a sudden he was guarding Guzman on the other side.
And right to R.J. Delahaye, who misses the layup, uncontested, and the rebound comes to Kevin Constant, who just checked in off the bench. Here's Wilson finding a cutting Constant down low, drop step layup, good. And now LeMoyne has its largest lead of 14, and a technical foul has been called, I believe, for taunting on Kevin Constant. Yep, he did that. He was waving to the fans in the stands afterwards, and officials are not allowing that anymore.
They're not allowing anything anymore, and that's unfortunate because he wasn't doing anything to the opponent.
No.
So that will also be a personal foul on Constant.
Yep, and it's the first foul of the second half on LeMoyne, and that'll send Brandon Kolick to the line, where he's 2 out of 2. And now we can tell you a little something about Brandon Kolick as he makes the first. His brother, Tyler, plays at Marquette and is one of the best players in the Big East. And his dad, Kevin, was a great player at Division III, I believe, for UMass Dartmouth. So both free throws good for Kolick. He's got 15 now, one more than Luke Sutherland for game high. And that ends LeMoyne's run. Or it doesn't end the run, but it brings Franklin Pierce back to within 12, and the Ravens will have the basketball.
Kevin doesn't really understand because he didn't do anything to the opponent, but it still comes down as taunting. So
yes.
So that's kind of a free. That's kind of a free 2 points for Franklin Pierce, because now they get possession as well. They can
build on it.
Yeah.
Kolick, top of the key, chest pass the right side, and Delahaye. Now back up top to Kolick. Delahaye in the right corner, fumbled the ball for a moment, got it back, drives baseline, bounces the pass out to Traore, steps into a 3, in and out, rebounded by Wilson with one hand. The Dolphins now looking to run up by a dozen. 14:03 to play, second half. Salter looking for space, well defended, drops it down low for Wilson. Wilson step back jumper, front rimmed it, no good.
He fell back a little bit too much and couldn't get enough on the shot.
He thought there was contact there. I think he was motioning to the official, but not enough to call. Kolick drives baseline, bumped with Constant, and now he gets fouled by DePersia, I believe.
He also hooked Constant, but a very small one. I mean, not enough to make a big difference, and it'll be Constant with the foul. Now his third.
Yeah, and he does pick up fouls in clusters, as we've noticed. Nate Champion has a look of absolute craziness on his face. He's saying, look, the guy hooked for sure. He's making the hook motion. Yeah, you did see it. I didn't see it. But regardless, it's free throws for Kolick, who's 4 of 4 at the line.
Yeah, I didn't think the hook had anything to do with him making that move.
So Franklin Pierce, the worst free throw shooting team in the league. You wouldn't know it today. They're 2, 4, 6, 9, 10 out of 11. And Kolick makes both. He's now 6 of 6 from the line. Has a game-high 17 points. Came in shooting 62% from the line. But I don't think he's touched rim yet. 4 straight points, all from Kolick at the line, has brought Franklin Pierce back within 10. And boy, that technical foul has taken the wind out of LeMoyne's sails. Good defense by Chandler on Wilson to stop him. Now he's posting up again down low. Salter with 7 seconds to shoot, puts it on the floor, into the paint, looking for space, fall away, his shot rejected by Maywin, and it's loose on the floor, comes to Kolick. Long touchdown pass ahead to Chandler. Chandler has one man to beat, and he gets the shot blocked out of bounds, but a foul called on Constant. That's his 4th of the half.
Yeah, and there definitely was contact there a lot, knocking him to the ground. Even though he's got his hand on the ball, he really didn't have a chance to block that without the foul, and now Constant, who's given LeMoyne a lot of energy here in the second half, most likely will go to the bench.
Well, he probably has to. 3 fouls called on LeMoyne in the second half, all on Constant. That one, though, did stop a layup. Chandler goes to the line for the first time today. And on the season, he's 55%. See if he'll continue the... Yep, he misses.
Xavier Wingfield coming in for LeMoyne, along with Nate McClure.
And Sean Trumper is in for the Ravens. Again, former rival of LeMoyne's in the now defunct New England Collegiate Conference. LeMoyne was in that league between 1992 and 96. Franklin Pierce is located in Ringe, New Hampshire, in the shadow of Mount Monadnock. Second shot good. Chandler's first point of the game. Famous alums for Franklin Pierce, Temple Grandin and Henry Simmons, the actor. They were the 2013 regional champs in men's basketball. The women's team, under Joanna Leadham and Jen Leadham, made it to a championship game about a decade ago. And by the way, Franklin Pierce is named after the only president in American history from the state of New Hampshire. Nice backing in move by Xavier Wilson, who gives LeMoyne a much-needed basket. He's got 10, fourth Dolphin in double figures. Lead back in doubles as well at 60-49. Traore almost pushed off.
See if they get it to Trumper, who's got a size advantage on whoever's guarding him.
Yep.
Mismatch there.
Delahaye passes up top to Trumper. Trumper working on McClure, giving up those inches, as you mentioned. Passes to the corner. Three-pointer is up and good by Delahaye.
That's a 3 for
R.J. Delahaye's first basket. He's out of Newburgh, New York. And on the season was just 4 of 17 from three before that.
See if LeMoyne can answer.
LeMoyne's lead is down to 8. Franklin Pierce loved to shoot the three. They shot a ton of them last year when they made the NCAA tournament. A left-handed three by DePersia is off the mark, but the rebound by Wilson. Double team, bounces down low to McClure. Reverse layup, good and a foul. Second chance played off for LeMoyne as McClure, silent since the opening moments offensively, has a chance to match or double his output offensively with a free throw.
Trumper picks up the foul, his first, as he went underneath, used his back to defend the ball from behind, used the rim to defend any block shot from the left side. Great move by Nate McClure.
So one IUPUI transfer misses the shot, the other one makes it, and he'll hit a free or take a free throw when we come back. 10-point lead for LeMoyne with 11:57 to go, second half. This is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network.
Media. Okay. Mal, we're going to take our remaining break at the 4-minute media. Should give you plenty of time to reset the computer.
Yeah, you can reset the computer because it's 11:57 on the clock. Next break, we'll keep it here. Thanks.
Fans, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank our Team LeMoyne corporate partners, the preferred partners of LeMoyne Athletics. King & King Architects, McNeil & Company, Cannon Dimensions, Mannion & Copani, Wegmans, TT Broadcast Company, Sodexo, IBEW Local 43, Nike, BSN, and Pepsi. Thanks again to our Team LeMoyne members for their incredible support of the Dolphins.
Nate McClure goes to the line to try to complete a three-point play as the Dolphins are leading by 10. McClure on the season 69% from the stripe. It's his first attempt today. Shot is up and rattles in. 6 points for McClure, who started his career at Texas State at Division I, then went to State Fair Community College, a JUCO, and then Division I again with IUPUI, now at Division II with LeMoyne. LeMoyne back up by 11, 63-52. Traore dribbles, stops at the foul line, kicks out to Trumper. Trumper lost the ball, but it comes to Traore. Back to Trumper, into the paint. Got it blocked by DePersia, I believe. Ball comes out free, and we have a foul on LeMoyne.
I think he was fouled by McClure in that, but Franklin Pierce got a break because the ball got back to them, and DePersia just picked up number 3. So 3 on DePersia, 4 on Kevin Constant.
Yep.
For Franklin Pierce, it's 3 on Bresnan.
Inbounds is to Trumper. Back up top to Delahaye, who hit a 3 on the last possession for Franklin Pierce. Now Traore into Trumper. Backing in on the smaller McClure. Double team comes. Now he goes with a jump hook. Left it short. And got the offensive rebound and another foul on LeMoyne.
That's a good offensive rebound going straight up to not pick up the over-the-back foul. McClure he's given up 4 inches and quite a few pounds to a bigger, stronger guy down low. Trumper a nice job of using his size to an advantage.
And Trumper going to the line for the first time. He's their best foul shooter at 76%, and he's taken more than any other player on the Ravens. This will be his 77th attempt, and it's good. He's 9th in the league in free throws made and 11th in free throw percentage.
Kolek comes back in the game for Pierce.
Yep, he replaces Bresnan.
Jerry Washington in the game for LeMoyne.
As DePersia takes a seat with the 3 fouls. Trumper next one makes it a single possession spread. 8 points for Trumper, 9-point lead for LeMoyne. The lead has bounced between 8 and 14 most of the second half here. Washington has it. Looks like Franklin Pierce is going zone defensively or some kind of matchup. Left side of McClure, bounce entry to Wingfield. Now to Wilson. Wilson puts it on the floor on Trumper. 10 seconds to shoot, takes the jumper, baseline, good! He's been feeling it, the confidence rising like the morning sun. Wilson now with a dozen, coming off the career-high 24 of the last game.
LeMoyne's been able to answer offensively when the defense is broken down.
One of their best shooting days of the season. Trumper ball fake into the paint, throws one up. It rolls in, and they call a foul on LeMoyne.
I think it might be on Wingfield.
Now the fouls are really mounting for LeMoyne.
It's on Wilson. That's his third. He's been on the court for a while. We'll see Luke Sutherland come in to give McClure a break. So you just can't take Xavier Wilson off the floor, but he's got to be careful now that he's got 3 fouls. And, of course, this is, again, a nice move by Trumper, who's got a physical advantage down there.
Franklin Pierce taking its 17th free throw attempt. They've made 14 of their first 16, and the 3-point play is completed by Trumper. He's now got 11. Second player in double figures for the Ravens, and they are in zone defensively. LeMoyne will have to try to solve it. Approaching the midway mark of the second half, up by 8.
Because David Chadbourne zones.
Salter, deep 3 off the back iron. Rebounds kept alive by Wingfield. Wingfield goes up hard. He was hit, no call, but got the rebound put back.
Playing through the contact, that's really important. You don't always get the call.
His first basket and the 8th Dolphin to score in this game. Actually the 9th. All 9 who have seen action have scored. And down low, it's Maywin scoring off the left basket. He's in double figures for the first time in his career. 10 points for him.
Tall, athletic, able to get up over the defense, just flip that in off glass.
67-59, and now we're under the midway mark of the second half. It's Washington. Ball fakes. Now it's Wingfield around to the right side and Salter. Wingfield with a tough shot. He's fouled midair and will go to the line for 2. A very good foul shooter for the Dolphins.
Fouls on Delahaye, his first.
Actually, is he going to? Yeah, he is going to take free throws, but he's not positioning himself at the line. Now Wingfield, the Richmond, Virginia native, sophomore, will go to the line for 2. He's at 78% on the season. It's a very physical game, and both teams are really giving it their full all. First shot is good for Wingfield. Snow Guzman is back into the game for the Ravens. He's been held in check, just 1 basket. He's been averaging almost 12 a game lately since being injected into the starting lineup. Second shot for Wingfield. It is up and it is good. He's got 4 all here in the second half, and LeMoyne's lead is back to double digits at 69-59. Both teams are trading baskets and free throws now, as it's gone from 8 to 10 to 8 to 10. Chandler, left side pass to Kolek, coming around the curl, into the paint, and throws in a reverse layup up off the awkward angle, misses. Up ahead to Wingfield. Wingfield into the paint, lost the ball. Was it off of him?
No, knocked out of his hands, out of bounds.
No, they're going to say it's off him. It's going to be Franklin Pierce ball. I thought he lost it.
Oh, I guess he did.
Yeah. Tried to make something happen one-on-one, and
Franklin Pierce defense got down there quickly, able to defend.
So here's Snow Guzman working it up on Washington. Washington staying in front of him. Bounce down low. It's picked off, and it was off of Sutherland's body, and Washington picks it off the floor. LeMoyne forces the most turnovers in the league at over 16 a game. Not as many today, but nice feed down low for Wilson, who's clobbered. Got Chandler into the air, and Wilson will go back to the stripe to try to add to the 10-point LeMoyne lead.
Kolek gets the foul. I was with you, Chris. I thought it was on Chandler.
I thought so too, but they got him underneath before the secondary defender came.
Yeah, there are a bunch of black jerseys down there. I guess you could pick your poison.
Wilson 2 of 2 from the line today. He's made his last 8 free throws going back 2 games. Studies it, shoots it, and hits it. Wilson is 8th in the league in block shots. I think he had 2 or 3 in the first half, depending on if he got credited for that third one. Might have been just a deflection.
Maywin back to the bench after more great minutes.
Maywin has had a coming out party today. He is tremendous, amazing athlete. One more shot coming for Wilson. It is up and it is off the mark. That ends his 9 straight at the line mark, but he does have 13 points. For one of 4 Dolphins in double figures. The Dolphin lead is in doubles at 11. Left side, Kolick for a 3. 2 men converge on him, and he still scores. He's got 20 to lead all scorers.
Got there too late. Dolphins putting pressure on the ball, helping out defensively, but the defense has really got to swing to the weak side to help out. Can't expect Franklin Pierce to keep missing open looks.
Salter, well defended by Trumper, giving up a few inches to him. Down low, Wingfield position, and got fouled. No, they're going to call him for an offensive foul as Snow Guzman fell backwards on the contact.
Yeah, he got up underneath him, and Wingfield didn't see him. Good call, I think, Chris.
Yes, Wingfield with his second turnover in the last couple minutes. And it will be Franklin Pierce ball trailing by 8 with 8:23 to go in the second half.
7 fouls for LeMoyne, 6 for Franklin Pierce, so it'll be free throws the rest of the way.
Oh boy, a near steal by Washington was pestering Snow Guzman. Now a feed to Bresnan. Bresnan into the paint, back out. Trumper straight on 3, well defended. No good, but the rebound out of the reach of Washington and a reset for the Ravens.
Just not tall enough.
A feed to Trumper down low, and he throws it up off glass and in.
Trumper did everything right. He didn't leave the floor. He had a height advantage, so he just turned around and put it up off glass.
He's got 13, and the lead is down to 2 possessions for the first time in the second half, or at least since the early going in the second half. LeMoyne's up 70-64.
Love Trumper's fundamentals.
Here's Wilson driving to the hole, and he got the ball knocked out of his hands and out of bounds, and that'll lead us to immediate timeout as Mike DePersia re-enters the lineup for Jeremiah Washington. It'll be 14 on the shot clock when play resumes. We'll keep it here, though, as LeMoyne leads by 6, and Nate McClure is also checking in for LeMoyne.
Since 1972,
Walking the path of integrity. Forever embracing a life in balance. Standing tall and confident. Leaders in the classroom, community, and field of play. With clear vision and a full heart. Looking to the future, devoted to the student athlete. Representing the Northeast. Diverse in composition. United by our values. Determined by nature. Uncompromised by choice. We are the NE10.
And we'll be on the air for the King and King Courtside show at 5:15. Women tip off at 5:30. Men will follow at about 7:30. LeMoyne and the Assumption Greyhounds in their second and final meeting of the regular season. We also want to encourage you to come out and soak up some of this great atmosphere. It's great college basketball at an affordable price. And I don't think the Baldwinsville Band will be here on Tuesday night, but they have really provided an amazing soundtrack to this Fin Frenzy event. Dolphins trying to sweep a doubleheader for Franklin Pierce. Women won earlier today, 72-44. Men have been up for all, but they only trailed once early in the game at 11-9. And then they scored the next 8 and have led ever since. But Franklin Pierce, a hardy bunch and not going to go down without a fight.
They're a really good team with a great coach that, he may be the most inventive coach in the league. He comes up with some amazing defenses.
Trouble on the inbounds, but the Dolphins get it into Salter. Salter behind a screen, but getting some attention. Left side to McClure. McClure drives baseline, finds Wilson for the two-handed stuff.
That's right, another Stewart slam by Wilson.
He's got 15 points, not slams. He's got 2 of those today. LeMoyne back up by 8. Trumper hands off to Kolick. Straight out. Oh, he thought about the 3, but as Sutherland gained ground, he threw a pass away. And now LeMoyne's got a steal. Up ahead, it's Wilson again, and he gets fouled, and he got the dunk.
It wasn't real. I mean, it kind of rolled over the rim into the basket, Chris.
Would you call that a dunk or not?
His hand didn't hit the rim, but he pushed the ball in as he got fouled, and that's another CAD Dimensions fast break. What's faster than a fast break? High-quality 3D printed parts delivered to your door or dock. Visit CADDimensions.com for an instant price quote on your next 3D printed prototype tool, fixture, or assembly aid.
Well, the Dolphins continue to get great efforts out of Xavier Wilson every game. He hits the free throw for the three-point play. 18 to lead LeMoyne, and the Dolphins are back up by 11. They've scored 5 straight since Franklin Pierce trimmed it to 6. We're under 7 minutes. Snow Guzman, he gets the pocket pick on a bad bounce pass. DePersia, number 2 in the league in steals. Over to the right side, now they got McClure. McClure to Wilson, finds Sutherland underneath for the easy flip, and the Dolphins are up 13. Timeout, Franklin Pierce. LeMoyne has scored 7 unanswered and leads by a baker's dozen.
And that steal by Mike DePersian is our Mannion Capani defensive gem of the game. Mannion Capani protecting the family fortune. Call 315-478-3500.
Well, we will keep it here, right, because we have one more timeout, so we'll keep it here. Don, I want to mention one thing that's an interesting statistic. Right now, LeMoyne is 9-6 in the league. They have not beaten the team ahead of them in the standings.
Right.
They are 0-6 against the 5 ahead of them. They are 9-0 against the teams behind them. If they win this one, it'll be the first time that they beat a team that's ahead of them, albeit one step ahead of them. But by winning the game, LeMoyne would push Franklin Pierce behind them. So would it count as a win against the team ahead of them? They still, going into the next game, you could say they've lost all the teams ahead of them and beaten all the teams below them.
There was a year in the Northeast 10 in men's lacrosse that LeMoyne was unbeaten. The team behind them had 1 loss. The team behind them had 2, all the way down to the last place team that didn't have a win, which means for every single team in that conference, every team beat everyone ahead of them and lost to everybody behind them. It's the only way the standings could happen. The odds of that are incredible.
Yep. So the Dolphins have now scored 7 unanswered to go up by 13, more than doubling their lead, but long way to go in this one. And Franklin Pierce, too formidable an opponent to sleep on. No easy nights in the Northeast 10 Conference.
We talk about how inventive David Chaborn is. Remember when he would play that zone and put a point guard in the middle of the zone?
Oh, yes, you're right. I forgot about that. Was that Eric Jean-Guillaume? Here's a nice move by Trumper, who spins on Wilson and scores down low. Trumper having a tremendous second half. He's got 15 points, and LeMoyne's lead is trimmed to 11. Nicely designed play out of the tunnel by David Chaborn.
Well, if he gets that close to the basket, LeMoyne's got to find a way to double team him in front of him and try to take the ball away, because you just can't stop that layup.
LeMoyne trying to avenge an early season loss in November. Salter all alone for the finger roll layup on the drive. No one came to help. Salter, who has been well defended from 3, even though he has 3 triples today, now has 13 points for the second straight game. The lead is 13 for LeMoyne.
Well, when the team overplays, he takes him to the basket.
Trumper working inside, dumps a pass off, and throws it out of bounds. Intended it for Bresnan down low.
Too hard of a pass.
Yeah, and I think at that point, Trumper wanted to shoot initially, but then saw that there was an opening to drive, and he got caught in between.
Yeah, and he was so close to the basket, but he had a man underneath.
DePersia with it. Over the left side, and Salter gets by his man, back up top to DePersia. He penetrates, bounces it to Wilson, who had to move forward to get the ball. Now it's DePersia, shot clock to single digits.
Good patience by the Dolphins.
Feeds Wilson, left side, Salter, wide open 3, off to the left. That keeps Franklin Pierce in the game. Rebound corralled by Kolick. Into the front court. Trumper, left side pass to Kolick. Bresnan, over the right side. And here's a 3 by Jordan Snow Guzman, who scores. Jarnell Snow Guzman. He's got 5. And again, just when you think LeMoyne's going to pull away, here come the Ravens to make it a game again. 4:52 to play.
Too many good shooters. They run their offense well, find open looks.
Here's DePersia. Hands off to Salter. Two very good ball handlers, and they're going to call a foul on Franklin Pierce on Salter's drive. Didn't see a lot of contact there, to be honest. Kolick is called for his second foul. David Chadbourne is wanting an explanation from the official, Brad Zapetis. Salter, an excellent foul shooter, goes to the line. He's 82% on the year. Is his first
there wasn't much there, Chris.
I didn't think so either. First shot is good. But, to be fair, there were some plays early in this game, most notably when what's his name? Derek Jones Jr. went up for his follow basket. He got undercut hard, and they did not call the and one.
So Antonio Chandler comes back into the game. I'm waiting for my favorite Pierce player, Maywin, to come back in.
Yes. Salter makes both. He's got 15, including the last 4 for LeMoyne. Dolphins back up a dozen. 4:37 to go, and they'll be very happy to trade baskets with Franklin Pierce the rest of the way. The Ravens have other ideas. Feed down low for Chandler. Position. Layup good. Just got better, deeper inside position on Wilson.
Yep, and at 6'6", he's Wilson's height just about. Easy for him to go up underneath, and smart for Wilson to not pick up foul number 4.
That's only Chandler's second attempt from the floor today, and only his first make, and he's one of the best shooters in the league, 4th best in field goal percentage, and LeMoyne throws the ball away. A rare turnover for them today, as they have taken excellent care of the basketball.
Overplay by the Franklin Pierce defense.
10-point game with just over 4 minutes to go.
Plenty of time.
Traore works it up on Salter. Gets by Salter, throws a pass out. Snow Guzman for another 3. This one's off the rim. High for the rebound is DePersia. The smallest Dolphin on the floor. Left side, and Sutherland won't take the 3. Well defended. Dolphins look like a confident bunch the last few games. Shooting in rhythm most of the time. Defending at a high level. Here's Salter driving, jumps a pass out of bounds the second time in a row. The Dolphins have thrown it out of bounds.
McClure cutting toward the basket while Salter thought he was going to stay out on the wing, and Salter saying, "It's my bad. I thought you were going to stay." And we have our final media timeout.
We'll take it. 3:39 to go. Second half, LeMoyne 81, Franklin Pierce 71. And this is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network.
Too is a word that the world uses to box us in. Too demanding. Too ambitious. Too different. We're too idealistic. Too unrealistic. Too much. But if we're too much, it's because we live in a world with not enough. Not enough compassion. Not enough action. Not enough solutions. So are we too much? Or are we just getting started? LeMoyne College, where greatness meets goodness.
Where's Tim? I don't see him. He might have left. He might have gone.
Who?
Tim.
Yeah.
Okay.
This afternoon's broadcast is brought to you in part by our Team LeMoyne corporate partners, the preferred partners of LeMoyne Athletics. Team LeMoyne members include McNeil & Company, King & King Architects, IBEW Local 43, Sodexo, Mannion Capani, CAD Dimensions, Wegmans, the DT Broadcast Company, Pepsi, BSN, and Nike. Thank you for your incredible support of the Dolphins.
LeMoyne by 10. The ball is thrown into the backcourt, or deflected in the backcourt, and Mike DePersia flies into the stands and pops right back up. Wow.
Derek Jeter impression there.
Yeah, he looked like a rubber ball. And, you have to hold your breath as a Dolphin announcer, fan, whatever, because he had a similar play like that at Assumption and broke his wrist and missed 3 games in 3 weeks. Here's a deep 3, Traore off the back iron, and Wilson the rebound. That might have been a desperation shot there, and they didn't need to force up a 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of time left, but certainly a three-pointers can get you back in the game in a hurry.
Yeah, Traore, it's all risk and low reward, or high reward.
Risk and reward, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we talked about that today earlier at our house.
We're under 3 minutes. Here's Salter, who's been good with the ball lately, finds DePersia. Angle pass out to Salter. 4-3. It's short. Rebound is controlled by Traore. Salter's missed a couple of wide open looks in the second half, and a foul is called on LeMoyne. That's going to stop the clock at 2:46 and put Franklin Pierce at the line.
McClure picks it up, his second. And Chris, that was one of those player dribbling kind of jerks himself back to make it look like it's worse than it is, and I think the officials
Bought
went
it.
for it. Yep.
Yep, Traore goes to the line. Yeah, because Nate McClure had a look on his face like, I didn't touch him. But enough contact to make a call. And
there was contact.
Yes, Traore to the line, and he makes the first. Traore on the season, 68% for the stripe, but Franklin Pierce well above its seasonal average from the stripe. They're getting there a lot, and they're making them. They've only missed 2 all day.
Well, the question is it the right people getting to the
No,
line?
I mean, you know it. 140% shooter,
That's
was
true.
4 for 4.
160%,
160% shooter, 6 of 6. I mean,
sometimes you have to have that. Well, who are you getting to the line?
But the answer to your question is yes, the right guys are getting to the line because they're making them. LeMoyne's lead has been cut to 8. Salter now with it. Oh, nice defense by Snow Guzman. Now to Wilson. Wilson puts it on the floor, spinning the jump hook off the back iron. Trumper the rebound, and now LeMoyne's gone cold. And Franklin Pierce has a chance to cut it even closer. Traore lost the ball, came down with it, and he's got it again and puts it up and gets fouled. Oh, man, the Dolphin bench is saying, where's the travel on that one? But they're going to say, the officials are saying that he didn't have control of it, so it wasn't a travel.
Disagree.
I thought he got in the air and came down with it.
On the other hand, Xavier Wilson got away with a travel on the other end, even though he missed that shot. So the frenetic pace of this game, the official just kind of missing a few things. Players have to play through it.
Traore back to the line. We're just made 2. He can make this a 2-possession game again if he makes both. First one's good. LeMoyne led this 81-69, and now it's 81-74. Kind of like we saw at the end of the Adelphi game when LeMoyne had the 15-point lead, shrivel down to 6 at the end. So Traore makes both. He's got 10, 4th player in doubles for Franklin Pierce, and LeMoyne's going to face a little pressure.
So now it's all about possessions. Every possession is really important. Dolphins have 3 timeouts to use if they get in trouble.
Dump down to Wilson. He's got position. He misses the layup. Looked like he was half dunk and half layup. Missed them both. And now Traore has it on the right side. Drives inside. Throws it back up on a lob to Kolick. Kolick behind a screen. Well defended. Trumper with Wilson in his grill. Backing in. Over to the left side. Snow Guzman well defended. Now step back 3 over to Persia. Is good. And it's a 3-point game. Boy, that was a great 3 with a man in his face by Snow Guzman, who's got 8, and LeMoyne's lead has been cut to 3, a 9-0 run for Franklin Pierce. Here's Salter, cupping it, kicking it out to DePersia. LeMoyne needs to play with poise here. It's a 1-possession game. Into the corner, it's Wilson. Back to the basket, shot clock to 11. LeMoyne needs a good possession here, and a pass that's deflected into the backcourt and out of bounds. It should be LeMoyne ball. It was deflected. Yeah, the officials are all looking to one official, and it is going to be LeMoyne ball with 5 on the shot clock and a minute 9 on the game clock. But LeMoyne has to get it about 75 feet up as Sutherland has to throw it in far side all the way near the Franklin Pierce basket. And Nate Champion calls a timeout. We'll keep it here as well.
It's a 60-second timeout, so he can figure out the best way to get the ball down the court far enough to get a decent look at the basket. What's really important for LeMoyne, even beyond this shot, is they get back quickly defensively because it's going to be very difficult for them to score. And if they bunch to the basket just to try to get the basket, Franklin Pierce could have an easy look on the other end of the court.
Kevin Constant is checking in. Despite the foul trouble, they need his athleticism out there, especially on defense.
And right now
LeMoyne's on offense.
Foul trouble doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter with a minute 9 to go.
Fans, visit the LeMoyne Dolphins online team shop at LeMoyneDolphins.com/shop to show off your green and gold pride and style. Featuring the latest Nike apparel and hundreds of different designs, the Dolphins team shop has you covered. Shop from the comfort of home or office at LeMoyneDolphins.com/shop. And LeMoyne's just not hanging on to the ball. The play underneath where Xavier Wilson went up and it looked like dunk or layup. It looked like he just lost the ball. It rolled off his wrist.
Which is, in effect, I mean, it counts as a missed shot, but it's another turnover, and LeMoyne has taken care of the basketball exquisitely tonight until the end of this game. They have thrown 2 passes away, and then that. So it's given Franklin Pierce some daylight. Now the Dolphins need to find a way to score in 5 seconds. They get it to Kevin Constant. 4 seconds to go. He's going to go mano a mano. Lays it up. No good, but true the foul.
With 1 second on that shot clock. And I would think Franklin Pierce knew he was going to try to go to the basket, but the last thing they wanted to do was foul him. However, it's not the double bonus, so he's going to have to make the first to get the second.
Yeah, both teams now with 9 fouls. So it'll be the double bonus the rest of the way after this 1-and-1 attempt for Constant. And he's been up and down from the line this year. on the season, 60%. The first one is up. And no good. It is a two-shot foul.
Oh, that's right. It was a shooting foul.
It was a shooting foul, yep. One more. This is an important one because it would put LeMoyne up 2 possessions. Still a lot of time left, though.
Yeah, really, they're all important at this point of the game.
Right.
You never know when you're going to need that point.
And the second one rolls in. He got the bounce. 7 points for Constant. LeMoyne ends the 9-0 run, but they're still only up by 4. And we are under 1 minute now in the ball game, at least in regulation.
Very important possession for LeMoyne defensively here.
Top right side, Kolick for an angle 3. It's good, and it's a 1-point game.
And Kolick traveled on that, Chris. I don't know if you noticed, he took that extra step on the wing.
And now LeMoyne has to get the ball in the front court against the pressure they do. 1-point game, 82-81.
Boy, 2 teams that have battled hard and played great basketball. One of them, unfortunately, is going to go home with a loss.
12-1 run for Franklin Pierce since LeMoyne led by 12.
LeMoyne's got 2 timeouts they can use as the shot clock's under 10.
Here's to Persia, top of the key. Has to make something happen. Spins, loses his footing, and lost the ball to Trumper. Now Franklin Pierce can take the lead. Traore lays it up, short. Rebound on the floor. And what's the call?
Kevin Constant got the rebound and called timeout.
16 seconds to go. LeMoyne ball with a 1-point lead. And yes, both teams now have 1 timeout left. Both teams are in the double bonus. Possession arrow favors Franklin Pierce should it come to a tie-up. Wow, take a breath, everybody.
So LeMoyne, first thing they got to do, get the ball in bounds. Second, don't get it knocked out of your hand. If you get fouled, got to make free throws. And even if they do, Franklin Pierce is going to have a chance to at least tie the game. Follow the Dolphins through all the social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and, of course, LeMoyneDolphins.com. Simply search LeMoyne Dolphins and you'll link up with the Fins for up-to-date game stories, video highlights, behind-the-scenes photos, and breaking news. So, interesting change of events here. If Franklin Pierce had scored there, LeMoyne would be looking to take a shot to win the game, and Franklin Pierce would be backing off. Instead, because they didn't, they're going to have to pressure and foul, and whoever they foul is going to get 2 free throws.
LeMoyne has had a series of heartbreaking losses this year. They have lost 5 games by 1 possession, and 2 of them at the buzzer. And this would be the most heartbreaking of all, up by 12 on your home floor with about 3 minutes to go. Maybe a little more than that. But LeMoyne's got to put it in play here, and they've got to find a way to finish this off. Battle for 5th place. Salter gets it into McClure, back to Salter. Now he finds Constant. LeMoyne playing keep away. Salter with it, and he gets wrapped up by Traore with 11.2 to go. And LeMoyne will have one of its best free throw shooters at the line in Isaiah Salter. Fans, stay tuned after the conclusion of this wacky game for the Wegmans postgame show. We'll delve into the stats, speak with head coach Nate Champion, and announce our Wegmans star of the game, our Brooklyn Pickles sub of the game, IBEW top rebounder, and Sodexo top assister. Salter 2 of 2 from the line today. No Dolphins on the blocks as Nate Champion is talking to them as if this is a makeshift timeout. First free throw good. One more for Salter.
By the way, no foul trouble for Franklin Pierce, so they can foul whoever they want if they need to. But now they'll use their last timeout, set up a play for a game-tying 3. And if you're LeMoyne, you guard everyone on the perimeter, fight through screens and picks, try to make sure that it's not an easy look. Make Franklin Pierce work for that shot. You know, if you're Franklin Pierce and you can get the ball up the court very quickly, you might take advantage of that and go right to the basket. Get 2. If you can get a 2-point basket with 6 seconds left, that's plenty of time to get the ball down the court again, foul LeMoyne, and do the foul game over again. So we'll see what they end up doing.
LeMoyne by 3, 84-81. Trying to snap Franklin Pierce's 7-game winning streak and extend its own win streak to 4. But it has been several miles of hard road these last few minutes. LeMoyne has only had 3 free throws for its offense in the last 3+ minutes. They've had more turnovers than points.
Tim McCaffrey said a 2-point game today.
Yeah, well, it's been just about that.
I thought it would be 3. It's 3 right now, but I get the feeling it's not going to stay with this as a final score.
We'll see. LeMoyne would love it to, but Franklin Pierce has a chance here. LeMoyne's going to pick up full court, make it difficult for the Ravens.
Yeah, but they're not going to guard the inbounder, so they have that extra man in the middle of the court.
They
Here
get
we
it
go.
to Snow Guzman. Let's see if LeMoyne might even foul if the clock gets really low.
Now they got to go for the 3.
Yep. Here's Trumper, top of the key, 3 for the tie, off the backboard, rebound corralled by Wilson, and that'll do it. The Dolphins escape and win their 4th straight and hand Franklin Pierce its first loss in the last 8 games.
Wow, so it does end a 3-point game, which was my guess, but I didn't think it'd stay here. I thought Franklin Pierce might rush down the court, try to get an easy 2, and do it a second time. This is a really good team. As they shake hands, Nate Champion spending extra time talking to all the Franklin Pierce players. They're phenomenal, especially Maywin, Chris. Won't Maywin, what a coming out party for him. He's got to get more minutes.
He's been terrific, or he was terrific today, and the Dolphins survive. They lead for all but one possession when they trailed 11-9. There were a couple of ties early as well.
Sounds like the last game they played.
Well, in
right?
that one against the Delphi, there was one tie, and they didn't trail at all. In this one, there was one trail at 11-9, and then LeMoyne scored the next 8. And they held the lead the whole way, even though Franklin Pierce came as close as one at 82-81 on a Kolick 3. That was Kolick's 5th 3 as he finishes with a game-high 23 points in defeat. We'll take a timeout and be back with head coach Nate Champion and our star of the game, brought to you by Wegmans, coming up all on the Wegmans postgame show. This is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network. I saw Buddy. Yeah.
All are welcome. Thank you again to the Baldwinsville Pep Band. For more information
Say it again?
Baldwinsville Marching Band, please visit beesbands.com.
Oh, okay. We never took that one? Well, I thought we took that one. Oh, you know what? We didn't take enough breaks. I'm sorry. Thank you. No, thank you, Mel. It threw us off when we didn't take that one break. Okay. Yeah, no, sorry. I know, right? Oof.
Just tell Swank to get them out there now.
We'll make it quick. All right. Okay.
I gotta grab one. Okay.
Well, we're unbeaten with the Ballsville band. We got to keep bringing it back.
First time we've beaten somebody above us in the standings, too. Now they're behind us.
The energy was awesome.
Awesome. Yep.
Exactly what we needed tonight.
Huh?
Exactly what we needed.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly what we needed.
They shoot 64%, and they go 19 of 21.
Yeah, but that's a good team, too.
40% shooters are hitting 6 of 6.
He's a great coach.
Oh, he is. He's a great coach. Great coach.
He's a good guy, too. We've always liked him.
Nice.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, Jimmy.
And we welcome you to the Wegmans postgame show where the Dolphins are victorious 84-81. They nearly let a 12-point lead with 4 minutes to go slip away. Got it. Franklin Pierce cut it to 1. They are a resilient bunch, and they didn't want to see their 7-game win streak come to an end. But it did, as the Dolphins did what it took to win down the stretch. Isaiah Salter, the final touches at the free throw line, and then they got a stop on a strong Trumper 3 that would hit the backboard, and LeMoyne corralled the rebound, and that was it. 4 straight wins for LeMoyne. And we are now joined by head coach Nate Champion, a happy Nate Champion here in the McNeil and Company Coach's Corner. And, Coach, first of all, the atmosphere was terrific here today. Second of all, your team came out with a lot of energy, maybe feeding off the vibes from the crowd. And third of all, you almost led wire to wire today. Again, a little bit of trouble closing it out at the end, but you did come up with the stop when you needed it.
Yeah, I mean, credit to them. I mean, geez, how many tough shots did they make? How many big threes? And that's exactly what you get from them. I mean, like you said, they're a very resilient group, and they play extremely well together, and they move the ball well in the offense. But there was a stretch in the game where we really moved the basketball. Which is what we've been preaching all year, and it was great to see that. We kind of went on that run, built up the lead. And, I mean, how about the atmosphere here, though? Holy cow. I mean, it was rocking. And finishing touches with the Baldwinsville band playing my jam, Country Roads. So you really can't beat it. But, great win for us, obviously, for a lot of other things. But, I apologize. I'm getting attacked by some old teammates. So, but it was a great day for us to just come out and really play basketball, and I thought we did a good job of that. Again, taking care of the basketball today was awesome. And we held them to 5 offensive rebounds in the second half, which they had 11 at halftime. So again, all around, just a good win for us.
And that was our halftime adjustment, was the offensive boards. But Maywin came out of nowhere, his athleticism down there, making it tough for the Dolphins. But this seems to be a formula that's working. Play well early, build the lead, and the team looks much more relaxed offensively playing with that lead than they have in games where they've had to come back.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, like getting to that point where, okay, we're winning games, time to close it out, and we got to get better at that, and we will, but the bottom line is we're winning the games, and obviously, we're working on that stuff in practice. We're cleaning it up. Today we didn't have any turnovers down in this area here where we gave them the ball back like we did against Pace and St. Rose. But, it was just good wire-to-wire win for us today.
One that you almost gave them back on when you called the 60-second timeout was the tip pass that came way into the backcourt, and you immediately put Kevin Constant in the game. So we're all thinking, we know what's going to happen here, but it was as if Franklin Pierce didn't expect it. He went right to the glass and got fouled with 1 second left. That's a key play.
Yeah, that's exactly why we put him in. We see him in practice. I mean, he gets the ball on one end of the floor and get to the other end quicker than anybody else on our team, and just his athleticism and his length, honestly, is something that you can't teach. And so we said, hey, Kevin is probably our best guy to get to the basket and get a free throw opportunity for us, and that's exactly what he did, which, again, just going back to that, you never know when your number is going to be called, but when it is called, making the most of it. I mean, we've done a really good job of that here in the last 4 games.
And let's talk about one of the guys that's been a constant, pardon the pun, in this 4-game winning streak, and that's Xavier Wilson. He continues to shoot at a high clip. He defends well, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, no turnovers. He's a big man who's really not, he's undersized to be the 5 for the most part, but he can shoot the jumper, and he can become a matchup problem for the other team. Also passes very well for a forward.
Yeah, and again, 4 assists, no turnovers today for X. It's been a great adjustment that he's made, and continuing to really embrace that position, like I keep saying, and just overall, awesome effort by him, and we love getting the win.
Isaiah Salter, another guy that's been tremendous for you down the stretch here in the season. He had 6, or let's see, how many assists did he have?
6 assists.
6 assists, no turnovers, 17 points. And even though he didn't shoot for a high clip, he hit some big shots for you early to help build that lead. And again, off the dribble, getting into the paint, making things happen, whether he's scoring, getting fouled, or setting up someone else.
Yeah, I mean, Isaiah's just getting comfortable. I mean, I think that's that way for everybody right now, is just the comfort level, the continuity, and you're starting to see us really work together.
So, moving forward, looking now that 4 straight wins are behind you, looking forward, you've got 4 games left, 2 home, 2 road. If you keep winning, you're going to be in that mix for the, I know you're not talking about that. You're shaking your head already.
One day at a time.
Okay,
man.
one day at a time. I like the answer. So what do you do between now and Tuesday's game against Assumption? What's the focal point in setting up for that one?
Continue to prepare the right way. We talk about it. We've talked about it the whole season. And when you continue to prepare the right way and you continue to do things the right way, good things will happen. And we knew our opportunity would be there. Obviously, with our record being what it is, we know we got to win games, but it's been that way all year. So, it's just a good time for us to kind of get going, and we have to just continue being us.
Well, when you start thinking of every game as being a playoff game to try to get that at-large bid, you've won those 4 in a row. Next one right around the corner.
Yeah, it's the NE10.
It's another playoff
it's
game.
NE10, you know. It's
It's a man's league. This ain't a JV league.
A good team coming in here, and an Assumption, very talented, very skilled offensively, and always a tough matchup, but we'll be ready to go.
All right, we'll see you on Tuesday.
Awesome.
Congrats on
Thanks,
your
guys.
4th straight win.
Great
Appreciate
win,
it.
Coach. Thanks.
Nate Champion as the Dolphins win by the score of 84-81. We'll take a timeout here on the Wegmans postgame show. When we come back, we'll hand out our awards and speak with one of the stars of the game, and that's coming up. This is Dolphins basketball on the LeMoyne College Radio Network. No way. Dub, how are you? All right. Yeah. Is this Dengarang? Oh, man. We hear a lot of good things about you. I've not seen you play yet, but I know you're playing real well. Yeah. Are you the coach? One of them. You're both the coaches. Okay, yeah. Well, we've been doing these broadcasts for 31 years. Maybe one day we'll say your name. We'll see. Yeah, it's our last break. We got to get Derek out here. They're going to get him out here at some point. Whew. We got Don. Let's go. Okay. He told me he's going to get Derek. So. They shot better from 3 than 2. They were 16 of 40 from 2. 19 of 21 at the line. We welcome you back to the Wegmans postgame show as the Dolphins hang on to beat the Frank LaPierce Ravens 84-81 for their 4th straight win. They snapped Frank LaPierce's 7-game win streak as the Dolphins will now play Game 3 of their 3-game homestand on Tuesday against Assumption. Probably won't have the same atmosphere that day as this one, but you can tell that the team will be fired up as they have been during this win streak.
Yeah, the game is just as important, and the LeMoyne's been playing like these games are important, like everyone's a playoff game. They've been focused, and as Nate Champion said, they're much more comfortable, and this is experience. We've talked about it all year. You can't make it happen faster than it can happen. You've just got to do it one game at a time, and little by little, those games are ending up behind the Dolphins. They've got fewer in front of them they've had behind them, and it is starting to show that they become much more comfortable on the court. Well, our IBEW local 43 top rebounder of the game is Xavier Wilson. He was the hardest worker on the hardwood, though the guy we're going to talk to next was a pretty hard worker as well. No one works harder than the good folks at IBEW Local 43, who supply skilled labor to over 40 contractors in the Syracuse, Utica, and Oswego areas.
Our Brooklyn Pickle sub of the game is a no-brainer today, even though a lot of people contributed, including Kevin Constance, Ivor Wingfield, Jeremiah Washington. Got to give it to Derek Jones Jr., who matched his career high with 12 points, 4 of 6 shooting from the floor, 4 straight baskets during that run that put LeMoyne up double figures. So we'll talk to him now. And Derek, it looks like after missing the first semester, you're little by little, you've played, I think, 11 games now.
Yes, sir.
Little by little, you get more and more comfortable, and you showed your hops today a couple of times. Almost had a dunk, but you were fouled on it on an alley-oop. So tell us about what the comfort level is like for you now from the start of the season to the point in Las Vegas where you joined the team on the court to now, if you can give us that arc.
I think it's built up. I give credit to my teammates and my coaches, for helping me every step of the way. So, he always, my Coach Champ always told me, things not going to be as good in the beginning, but, you know, as things go on, just slow down, don't go too fast, just relax, take a deep breath, and everything will just come to you naturally. So I just took what he said and just went with it.
And that's what it seems like is happening with the whole team, like for X as well. And even Luke Sutherland, especially early in the game, it seems like you guys have slowed down just a little bit offensively, kind of picked your head up, and you look very comfortable out there, taking your time and finding the right shot. Instead of hurrying it or rushing or being nervous, you don't worry about it. You just, okay, we're going to come back for the next play. And that's something that we didn't see early in the year.
Yes, sir. I think it all comes with just, you know, he told us before we came out, he said, just have fun. You know, this is all it's supposed to be fun. So I feel like the more fun we had, the more connected we had, everything would just come to us. You know, we don't have to rush anything, get good shots. So
yeah. And Chris and I have talked about this all year. Experience, you can't speed it up. Well, you can't have 12 games of experience until you play 12 games. It takes time, and being patient through that time can help make you mentally strong. This team looks a lot more mentally strong than they were early in the year. We don't see panic anymore. With the exception of a couple of possessions where guys were kind of one and take the shot, the offense really was in gear. Guys were making the extra pass and didn't see any panic. Saw a very comfortable team out there.
It's how we handle our adversity.
That being said, how comfortable is your wrist?
Oh, it's better now.
Okay.
Yeah, I got I got hit.
Yeah.
It was fine though. I'm doing good. Yes, sir.
So I have a question for you, Derek. You played a little bit last year for Division 1000. Okay,
yes,
you're recruited out of Richmond, Virginia, and you had a taste of Division 1 waters. You've seen what that animal's like at the mid-major level. When you see the Division 2, one of the top conferences in Division 2 in the Northeast 10 Conference, now playing in the games and catching up with the speed of the game, how do you compare it to Division 1? Is it? It doesn't seem like it's that far off to me, but I don't play the game like you do.
If you be completely honest, I think it's all the same.
Really?
I think it's all the same. I think it's just a matter of, you know, coaching. You know how the recruitment process goes. So, but I think talent-wise, you know, competition-wise, speed-wise, it's all kind of the same to me. So, you know, it's just all about adjusting. So I feel like that's what I'm trying to do best right now.
What do you feel that right now is the part of your game where you're happy with, and what do you think needs the most improvement?
I'm happy with my patience now. I think my main thing, like you said, when I was first coming into it, I was playing a little faster. I think I'm just trying to learn my pace and, you know, get to my spots on the floor. You know, I think things to work on is just, you know, just being a better vocal leader for me. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, and maybe time those alley-oop plays a little bit better and not get fouled.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on another great effort.
Thank you.
Derek Jones Jr., keep on improving. He was the best sub on the court. For the best subs off the court, head to the Brooklyn Pickle with locations on Burnett Avenue on the east side, West Genesee Street on the west side, and the new store on Buckley Road in Liverpool.
Oh, you're going to give me something to read?
Yes.
Let's see. We're going to now go to our top sister of the game. Oh, wow. Not much of a surprise here. Isaiah Salter with his 6 assists today, and as you mentioned earlier, no turnovers. He was LeMoyne's top assister on the court. For the best assist from a catering perspective, contact Sodexo, a proud Team LeMoyne member, at 301-987-4000. 301-987-4000. LeMoyne with 16 assists for their baskets. A pretty good number. They were moving the ball really well.